Welcome back. Welcome back. My name is Jacob. I'm here with Mickey. Welcome to the Luxalgo live stream. Got a lot to go over today. Over the weekend, Bitcoin finally broke 30K again, even after that fake news ETF news that we got last week when it touched 30K on the nose, and then this weekend decided to crank back up through 30K. Dow Jones this morning barely in the positive. You have the S&P 500 up 14 points already. The NASDAQ as well up 91 points, about almost a full percent. But overall, not a bad morning so far. Very, very bullish. Very bullish. Welcome, Jack, Brad, Jennifer, Alter Ego. Nice to see you again. Parth, welcome everybody. Let's see where everybody's from right now. We're going to go over some news here in a minute. We got a nice week ahead with some crazy earnings coming up. Some crazy earnings this week. Very heavy on the earnings. So we should see a nice pump, possibly. If earnings go well, we're going to have a very nice volatile week. And it's going to be some fun trading, that's for sure.
What's the big one for the week?
There are a lot this week, and we might as well kind of just jump right into it.
Cool.
Starting out with, let's see, the biggest one for this week. Let's see here. Biggest one this week. I mean, man, we got Microsoft. We got Meta. I mean, they're going to be pretty close.
There you go. That's
we
it.
got Amazon at the end of the week. I mean, these they're all pretty much very large, very large. We got Visa after market close on Tuesday. IBM after
Fintech
close on Wednesday. Boeing. Yeah, I know you guys can't see below these, the ones at the top, but usually the ones at the top are the ones that are, the most anticipated. So, welcome, Grant. Nice to see you, Hybrid. We'll be doing a Black Friday deal. Well, you just have to wait come November for sure. But, we do every year, so I'm sure we will again. Tuesday, pre-market Verizon, Coca-Cola, some pretty big names. T-Mobile. I'm trying to think of there's 3M, Spotify's coming out Tuesday as well. And Google. Sorry, I missed Google there. I always forget they do the alphabet thing. And Snapchat as well. So a lot of earnings this week. So the market should have some fun volume for sure we got to look for. But let's kind of jump into the news as well to make sure we're up to date on everything. Today, nothing really crazy. Tomorrow, though, we do have PMI pre-market at 9:45, as you can see there. So just sit on your hands at 9:45. Remember, that's 15 minutes after open. So again, don't even be trading. Don't be in a trade unless you're not obviously a swing trade or something like that. But if you're day trading, note 9:45. Probably going to get some volatility. So be very careful doing that. Obviously, there could be a good outcome if you were to risk it. But again, if you are a smart trader, you would avoid trading through that time. We have crude oil API weekly coming out after hours tomorrow. So you trade CL, just note that, right after the bell, before that opens back up, you're going to have a little bit of a report there to know what's going on with the crude oil stock. Come Wednesday, like always, there's always something. 8 a.m., so an hour and a half before market open, we have the building permits. So it looks like we're projected a little bit lower than we were last month. So let's see if that hits. You can't see here we are negative month over month right now that we're projected negative versus last month we reported positive. So if we do report positive, it could be super, super good day. And also 10 a.m., there you go. Another aggressive volatility moment. Okay, if you're holding, you can trade that first 30 minutes if you want, but no, at 10 a.m. you're going to get a spike of volatility because of the new home sales on Wednesday. Okay, I always call Wednesdays just news days. Wednesdays, there's always something that's going to come out early, more than likely. So be very careful at 10 and then early pre-market 8 a.m. So volatility is going to probably spike in between those hours, and you just have to make sure you know that. Then, like always, crude oil at 10:30. So CL, if you trade that, 10:30 crude oil should be a fun little trade-off there. Hopefully, we can see that kind of come down from the highs it's had. And then we have Jerome talking, the Fed chair, Powell talking at right after close. So that might give us some nice move into the next day. And then Thursday we have the durable good orders at 8:30, so an hour before open. That's going to probably drive what happens pre-market. So again, if you trade pre-market, pay attention to that at 8:30. And then, of course, this is Thursday is GDP. So GDP, massive, massive news that's going to drive some volatility. So big week for sure on the news front as well. So just be very careful on Wednesday and Thursday. Just know the times that these come out, and then trade accordingly. 10 a.m. as well on Thursday. This is all Thursday here. Also, the pending home sales report, and then Friday we get the core PCE. So, I mean, it's just like we're right in the middle to end of the month, and it's always just a ton of earnings to smack you. So, ton of earnings, and we got earnings and news. So it's going to be a pretty volatile week, which can indicate some really fun trading. So just if you know your risk and you like to be, like to trade around this news, then you can get some really good trades. Just be smart about it. But that concludes the news for the week. So we'll go over that again, probably either if we come back tomorrow or the week after. But let's look at some charts here, starting off with the Bitcoin daily. Is there any news though, Mickey, this week that you're excited for? Anything specific?
No, actually, I'm viewing this week as a calm week.
All right,
nice.
Um,
Because we don't have what's his face really talking to, right?
Yeah, I got Jerome after hours one time, and then
it's nothing
too crazy. But yeah, Mickey, I want you to pull up the Bitcoin daily chart. And I want you to see what I see as well as we're going over it here.
I haven't seen Bitcoin yet. Hold on.
So Bitcoin
chart.
breaking
what are we looking at? You want the Neo?
No, I'm just saying you get your analysis ready and.
Okay.
And then after I go over it, because I want your insight on these order blocks that are screaming our names here. Anyway, guys, yeah. So starting off, Bitcoin, obviously up 4% today, $1,200. Massive push into the weekend. And what's so cool about this is we actually were talking about this last week on Thursday that we might get that run to 30K possibly over the weekend. And I wish I could just like have it queued up, or I could just cue the clip and then you get to see what we were talking about. But 30K got hit so easily this weekend, which is awesome. Retested that previous high, as you can see here, that we went up and touched. Let's see, that high was 31,862. So we did touch that, almost at 32K. I do think there is a possibility we could break through this, but what's sitting here? We have, one of these daily order blocks. So I think, do we have a daily order block sitting there, Mickey? I got to make sure.
Definitely we have some daily order blocks.
So my gold is a 4-hour order block. My white is 1-hour order blocks.
We are actually knocking on its door.
Green. Yeah, green is let me see here. I'm gonna change this to pink. I'll get some pink blocks for my daily, like always. And I'm gonna do I'm gonna put it on one day. Here we go. So there you go. We are entering the pink, okay, which is that 1 day order block. So while we're ending this order block, we can go back and look at price. What happened? Price last time, it went up, completely rejected it. And then we had that leg down and then bounced off another daily order block. And now it's retesting this upper order block. So on Friday, remember what we talked about was we wanted to see, let's see, this is Tuesday. Was that last week? Let me double check. Sorry. The 12th. So Tuesday, or wait, no, that's not right. I should say Tuesday 12th. Oh, it's September. I'm dumb. We're in October. So last week, let's see, we had that spike on the ETF. Remember, we settled off, and then we had a nice closing candle on Thursday. If we go to that 4-hour chart, that was mostly what we were looking at last week for these order block moves. We are saying it needs to hold against what? This previous resistance, right? That turned into, let me just grab my little box here. This previous resistance, right? It was holding this, right? Then this would be a breaker block. If I turn on breaker blocks, you'll probably see the breaker blocks. But that previous resistance there turning into support, aka, that supply turning into demand after it broke through, had that higher low, and then we continued for that 30K move, right? So breaking out, retesting right at 30K, which was, previous resistance, of course, plus this candle, which was insane, touching 30K exactly. We had a nice blow right through that high again, set up off 30K, and now we're testing 31,226. So again, we say 32K is a good target to reach for. It's inside this order block. This previous high we said was 31,862. So that's right under, obviously, the 32,000 mark. So getting up into this order block could indicate, some possible selling coming in. But this is a key level or key range that'd be worth watching, right? So let me go into this again, and I'm going to turn off everything but the daily order block so you can see it. And this is what we talked about many times before, is when you enter those order blocks, you want to see it trade within it and then come back out and then look for a trade setup. And that's kind of where we're starting our beginnings here. When we're in a daily and we come out, then we look for a trade. So something like a lower high with a nice, structure change, which we had here. So like a change of character. And then, we have this run up to that upper order block that we could have easily targeted on the daily. But for coming into Friday there, our biggest thing, or Thursday, our biggest thing was holding that support on top of that previous Monday high that it had. So great support into a nice little uptrend there, which was awesome. Let me see. Benny, yeah.
Loving your colors there.
You like it? You like it? But yeah, I mean, what would you do, Mickey? Let's see your chart for on the Bitcoin there, because we're entering that order block, so I want to see what you would look for.
Let's see what we got here. Let me pull up Bitcoin 4 hour. All right, I am going
50.
to show.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
4 hour order blocks. Right, 4 hour order blocks right now.
We're gonna go over, guys. Once Mickey's done with his analysis on Bitcoin, if there's anything specific you want to go over, let me know. But we're gonna go over the NQ and ES here in a second, and gold, nat gas, and so all the majors, like always. So take a swing.
All right, Bitcoin, a 4 hour chart with 4 hour order blocks. You can see the bust through, right? So that was the clue for me to dial it down to a 15-minute and scalp the sucker, right? But I also like to overlay the daily order blocks and zooming out, right? Let's turn those on. Mine are pink and green, right? This is where we're at right now, right? We busted through, right? Next target, next order block, which is a daily. And inside that daily is another 4 hour, right? Why is this daily important? Well, if we zoom out a bit, look how many times it tried to break up from the 30,000 range, right? It's going to be a tough one. So if I was a betting man, right? Look at this. If I was a betting man, I am looking at this path here. Hold on, let me draw it for you. I am looking for this. Right back down to normalcy, right? I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong for the sake of my ledger, right? But if I'm going to bet, I'll be waiting for a short right now, because the long play is over for me. If I were to trade this right now, the short play is on. I'm eagle eye. I am stalking this for a short trade. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, Scalper's got the right idea there as well. He says next 2 days down to 4,800. So, sorry, 30,480. Which, I mean, again, that's retracement after a pump like this. And Mickey, I'm going to jump back over to my chart because I totally forgot. What's really cool though is we did have a 3 signal, which I always talk about. The 3 signal is like my favorite on the signals and overlays AI classifier. So that the 3 signals, remember, 3 and 4 are the highest value signals you can get. 3 is usually either could be a trend continuation or a stronger trend signal, and that's what we got come the Monday the 16th before this move through 31,000. That occurred at the close of 27,000, right below 28K. And then we broke this high. So seeing that again, once that's my other level of confluence, is I want to see, something like a 3 signal like we see here. I want to see then a retest of this high and then possibly a breakthrough or creating support off of, a previous structured point. So this was a swing high, right? So with that 3 signal, I would have waited for a retracement like this on the oscillator, which we would have gotten right here. And then my entry would have been right off this one right there for a nice long trade. Obviously, this is the other cool part is if you have signals and overlays, you can have something like the Neo Cloud, which you can trail your stop using the Neo. So if I were to take off just these order blocks, but this Neo Cloud here, notice how it's stepping up. When I see those step ups, I trail my stop accordingly. Now, what do I take into account now? I see, there's an order block up here that I can watch, and this is only on this chart. So this is a 4-hour order block sitting right where that daily sitting. That's what I would target. So I would trail my stop accordingly. Up here, I would still be in a pretty hefty amount of profit on the stop side. So being my stop for profit would be super solid here. And then I would be targeting probably the 31,500 because that's right at the tip of that order block. So sitting today, the high we have so far is 31,397. So that almost would have taken that out on a lovely setup just based on the several levels of confluence we got, which was all screaming bullish, right? That 3 signal, the candle colors, green, blue, Neo Cloud broke resistance, found support resistance, turning point on the oscillator and overflow, which is that, separate colored cloud there within the money flow oscillator in the middle of the hyper trend. So that they're all lining up for a beautiful move indicating volume was coming on Bitcoin. So great move on Bitcoin 4-hour. Let's jump into gold though. I know a lot of you probably just been waiting on that gold analysis from this high, of course. Do we hit 2K over the weekend? Or sorry, I don't think on Friday we almost hit 2K. Sorry, not over the weekend. I keep forgetting. We're not in Bitcoin anymore. Real quick though, we got some questions. Hello, bro. How can I improve my mindset? Any advice? Thanks. The biggest thing about mindset is, for one, you need to understand your own risk tolerance. We all have different risk tolerances, right? Now, that can come from how much capital you have to trade with. So risk is first if you really want to be a profitable trader, you have to understand your own risk. Now, for me, I understand that I'm a very risky person, right? So I would full port everything day trading if I saw an A+ setup and I was like, all right, here we go, But I'm leaving myself a lot of room to get liquidated, and it's happened to me several times. But then I realized that when it comes to day trading for me, that's something where I need to take risk off. So like I've mentioned here before, when I day trade only, I day trade on prop firm accounts because I'm not risking a lot of money because like you pay $50 a month, you get access to funds. So I personally, with my own capital, I would swing trade. That's me. I understand my risk tolerance. If I day trade, I'm going to lose a lot of money unless it's like a prop firm, because in a prop firm, then I'm kind of like a third party trading through money that's not my own and I'm not losing. So with that, I can think with a lot better risk tolerance on the prop firm account versus if it was my own money. So for day trading, I use prop firms. For my own money, I swing trade because I understand that my risk is a lot less crazy on that side. So yes. And then, I think I was trying to think of, there's something else I was going to say, but I don't remember. But first, understand your risk as a big thing. Otherwise, you can really easily just destroy every account you ever opened. But at the time being, gold. Let's go over gold on the 4-hour. Let's see. Gold here hit a high of 1997. For those of you that trade gold futures like I do, we did crack the 2K mark, which is pretty awesome. And I had a few people last week being like, gold's not at 2,000. I'm like, well, I'm trading leveraged futures, so the gold is 2,000 on there. But we are still inside this daily order block, right? We've been waiting for this thing to break outside this daily order block. Well, gold blocks, we can go over a Euro USD here in a second. as well, and see if there's any news driving that today. But gold blocks, remember, is my 4-hour order blocks, which are on the 4-hour time frame. Purple blocks is my daily order blocks, and then obviously I have some other time frames like the 1 hour. But again, here you go. This is something we talked about last week when having multiple instances of the price action concepts indicator, so we can put on multiple time frame order blocks. This is what is being shown right now is 1 hour, 4-hour, and daily. Where has resistance begun on gold? Well, it happened right here, where they're all combined together, right? So when it entered that order block on the daily, didn't really have that resistance yet. It started to enter the 4-hour order blocks, which are the gold ones, started to show resistance. Then it tips and touches a 1-hour order block up there, shows even more resistance, and then finally has its sell-off there, right? It had a little dump on Sunday at open. So late last night, had that little dump, set a lower high recently. So this is clearly a level of resistance on gold, and all we had to do to even spot this was to have multiple time frame order blocks up on our 4-hour, 5-minute, whatever you want to call it. So depending on the time frame you're on, you can have it up on each one. So if I even go to the 15-minute, we should be able to see the order blocks once they come up here. They're still loading, so give it a minute. I haven't been on the 15 gold yet today. But on these time frames, they might have broken. So if you go to a smaller time frame, you might have to show the breakers, and there you go. You'll start to see where this resistance came into play. So crazy little move through that 4-hour order block. Ended up not fully breaking over it on the 4-hour, and then now we're back down trading through it. So in this case, we're currently in a bearish change character on a 15-minute. And we're trending downward a little bit here. Let's see where that Neo Cloud's sitting. Neo Cloud's still bearish. Remember, I love trading the Neo Cloud recently, and we like to go with what the Neo Cloud tells us. So right now, I am bearish. Even though we have this leg down, we still have that bearish change character. On gold, in my opinion, I would want to retest this low that we had set last night. That low was 1964-ish. Let's see that low exactly. It was 1964.425. So I would want to test that. If not, I would want to break out of the 1983. In my opinion right now, it's breaking after retesting the Neo Cloud again to set another lower high. It is breaking lower. But notice the Neo Cloud is getting smaller. So when you see these Neo Clouds get smaller, it could indicate that the trend could be in a state of changing. That's why I like to see when we break above it and break back below it, that Neo Cloud kind of stay put. So in the time being, because it's broken down already and now it's potentially setting a higher low, I want to see this break that low, and then I would target the low of last night. So nice little Neo Cloud potential setup inside the daily and 4-hour and 1-hour order blocks altogether. But what do you see on a 4-hour time frame? So 4-hour time frame, this is just trading 101, right? You see a possible bull flag forming. So bull flag indicates that we do need to set another low on this. So we did talk about that on the lower time frame, setting another low, right? So if we were to set another low, then we could potentially have that bull flag breakout. So this is a good candle setup so far for a bull flag move, just because you had this one at open last night completely just dump, and then it recovered within 8 hours. And then now it might get one more dump before it breaks out. So really just people are resetting on that. And you can see even the oscillator coming back down for a potential bounce for the move. Brad said, what are the color coding on your order blocks again? Pink, daily, gold, 4-hour, yellow, gold 4-hour and yellow 1-hour. No. Let's double check. Just make sure I'm right. Daily is purple. Yes. I like 4-hour to be gold because we consider those the golden order blocks. Let's see here. Yeah. White is the 1-hour. And then I might have, okay. So I have 2 instances of a daily order block. I do. So I'm going to just take off the 1 there. So we have that. So yeah, we have 4 sets for now. It's because one of them I wanted to leave as like the chart amount. So if you saw double, it's probably because one was marked on the chart. But again, here, still bullish on a higher time frame to break that 2K on gold. So until we break below that neocloud. I mean, look at this. This is just insane. Look at the neocloud step down here, breaks that neocloud, steps up, steps up, steps up, and then just keeps going, right? So that's, again, if you're trading something like gold, understanding how a neocloud works, especially in the signals and overlays, is just beautiful price action that can be traded. There's no reason to fight that trend until it's completely broken. So in this case, we're still very bullish. As you can see here, neocloud tends to not lie, especially on gold. You can see it just followed that down and it broke back up here. But guess what? It retested down here. That broke back up, set a lower high, broke it, and then look, boom. Once it flipped, it kept going, and then it flipped back. So here's the difference here. Look at on the neocloud. If you recently like to trade it, look how small these neoclouds are versus when it's trending. That can really help indicate on what's going to be, trending and what isn't. Look for the kind of the gap between those neoclouds, because that's going to indicate kind of the momentum behind it. And then you use it, with your structure on the price action concepts and the order blocks. So nice little setup that we had there on gold. Now inside this target 1, will it go to target 2, which is 2040? That's, we got to get out of this order block. But so far, very bullish on this current setup, because it does look like a nice little bull flag. So nothing too aggressive on the sell side, because it's trading is still above that daily or 4-hour neocloud. So we'll see what it does. But head over to, let's see, you guys suggested some things as well. I did want to see, so we are getting a breakdown here on some of the neocloud 3-minute for my strategy that I like to trade. But I would like this to flip for an actual trade. So there might be a trade potential setup while we're live today. But for now, let's take a look at the NASDAQ 4-hour. NASDAQ had that pump after it swept these lows, right? Swept lows from last Wednesday. And now, like always, the market makers need to collect liquidity to send prices a separate direction or to create a reversal. It definitely collected the liquidity below these lows. Probably a lot of liquidity sitting down below the 14,500 level on I would never hit that, sorry. The 14,600 level, because of these previous levels of support. Wow, multiple levels of support. Now, this again could be driving shorts to cover. We'll look over, Nat Gas and CL I want to look over next. And then we're going to look at some Forex pairs. But a NASDAQ, yes, breaking these lows, it starts that short covering. People are covering. But in my opinion, this could still go lower. We have a very hefty week of earnings. And we have a very strong week of news. So it's really going to depend on what news comes out for these. So in my opinion, on the 4-hour, there's a bug in here just flying around. I'll try to get it in a sec. While Mickey goes over something here a little bit, I'll try to get it. We're inside that, we're inside that bearish neocloud right now, the NASDAQ 4-hour. So until we actually have a structure change, there's no reason for me to even look for a swing on this. Now, again, I don't normally swing like the NASDAQ. I will do all day trading on futures for the ES, NASDAQ, and crude oil and all of that on lower time frames. But in this case, for now, this little pump could start us to rally back because we collected the liquidity below that low down there. But we're not really going to look for a setup until this thing, shows it to us. Let's see, oscillator is extremely oversold too. So it could have a nice setup here. I don't know, we have 26 minutes on this 4-hour candle. Tomorrow maybe there might be a setup. We'll have to wait and see. We'll look over SPY and SPX. Let's go over to CL. We do have that inventory coming out today. Man, I missed a huge trade on CL, and I should have waited. Or actually, I should have entered. I was debating on it because it was testing the neocloud several times this morning. And we'll go over the Euro USD here soon as well. But for CL finally breaking this low, we're finally getting hopefully the lower 80s again. That'd be very nice. It did attempt, its breakout. It did reject, as you can see here before this order block up here, the daily order block it rejected. You can see now there's not really much going on these order blocks, right? You got a 4-hour order block, but it's still not until we get back below this low where it might be worth looking for a bounce. So seeing that is going to help me identify, maybe I need to wait until CL gets down to 80-ish. I mean, you can see the amount of price action forming down here to indicate that could be a good level to trade. I'm trying to see why it bounced. There's not really much information of why it could have bounced around the 82s, which is interesting, considering this little swing high it had here, which is, well, actually, yeah. I guess you could have had a little bit of, if we were to just pull back, you can see the amount of resistance forming. There you go. I didn't pull it back far enough. So based on this little range, it makes a little bit more sense now. It did break out of that and then got just completely dropped. It dropped another, almost $8. But broke back through it, then now it retested it. So that does make sense. But I do think crude does have a chance to come lower. It's going to depend on the inventory that comes out on, is it Wednesday? I always get that mixed up. Let me double check. We do have, obviously, the crude oil inventories, yes, on Wednesday. And then we have, actually, after hours, the API weekly crude oil stock as well. So that could help on Tuesday, help drive us lower. But let's see what ends up on what's being reported right now is not too. It could, yeah, we could see a nice lower price. We'll see. But for crude, nice sell-off, breaking that low. I would want to close under this low here in 24 minutes, and then I would target the 83 level down there after that. So that is for CL. Let's look at nat gas. I actually did have a trade on nat gas today, and I'll go over it here in a sec. Actually, let me just pull up the chart that I had it on. Let me just pull this up. So natural gas, 4-hour. Look at that first. Had a nice little long trade today because it's been getting hammered. And you can see as well, we bounced off. Do I need that one? That's just chart order block, yeah. So we bounced off this nice 4-hour order block. We didn't even, do we even touch it? A little baby touch? A little tap? Just tap it in? A little tap on the 2.861 this morning, or late last night, actually, sorry. Nice no-wick retest on the 4-hour, which is one of my favorite candle setups. That's what I call it. But right off that order block, right? 2.861. It bounced on my 3-minute time frame. What I like to talk about is that I do this Neo Cloud strategy that recently I've been playing off. Pre-market, we had, this could work on any asset. It's worked out as you saw there. I look at 6 different futures and see if any of them set up to give me, the most amount of trades in a day. But this morning, pre-market, we had some volatility before market open. Finally, at market open, seeing that we've been in a downtrend for a while and setting this higher low right before market open right here off that low, I was like, okay, if this does set up here and it bounces after open and some volume comes in, then I'll probably take a trade. And what I like to say is we break below the Neo Cloud. Notice the Neo Cloud is bigger. It's a bigger Neo Cloud. It's not some skinny little guy like this. So that's a first indication that I do like it to the upside. We broke that Neo Cloud down there. Boom. And then I like to see, after we break the low of the Neo Cloud, I do like to see a closed candle. Sorry, not that one. I like to see a closed candle above the upside of the Neo Cloud. This is a long trade due to the Neo Cloud being bullish, right? So what I did was take a long off this candle. Once it closed, I set my stop below this swing low. And then I got out on this candle at its high. So we hit about a 1 to 1.63 trade. Again, like I said before, I like to take small scalps. I'm not going for a 2-to-1 every time, especially on a 3-minute chart. It's not really worth it because of the volatility. But essentially, all I did was this to take that 163. I looked back, had some previous support off of roughly this level. But what I did was just up my stop loss to be in profit from this wick low here. I had a stop right below this guy, and then I moved my stop below this guy, and then just kept moving my take profit to eventually, be the amount that I wanted for the day. But it wasn't too far off from this low that it set right here. So I wanted to make sure if it broke through that level to claim that profit, because it probably might have taken out that previous support and then, like you see here, dumped right through it. So that ended up being that trade I had on nat gas. And then I had, what was the other trade today? Let's see here. Was it on CL? No, it was on the Dow. So it's funny. We had a bunch of pumps obviously today, like on the NQ. NQ took out, the session lows and then completely rallied. But again, for the strategy that I trade, I like to see that, the Neo cloud get broken. Never got broken, right? The only one, now obviously these are all going to move very close. The only one that broke was the Dow, right? The Dow broke. So you can see here, it tapped it on the bottom there. So saw that, came back, tapped it, came back up, closed. You can see the blue arrow there was my entry. So I entered right off this guy, stopped below that guy, that low there. And then I literally just took right to this high there. So sometimes when I see like a hammer almost like this, I mean, this is not an exact hammer because there's a wick, but if I see a candle like this where this is clear rejection, I'll take the opening close of that level as my take profit. So this is just a scalp, right? So taking this, I'm just marking that off. Oh, that's the wrong one. I just marked that off there, noticing that it was a level that clearly rejected, and I might as well just send my TP there, because the minute that thing goes up, I can adjust my stop to here and then be out within the next, 8 to 10 minutes. And that put us up 466 on the day. We're trading inside a Top Step account, and we're going for that 53K. We're halfway there. So 3 green days so far on this strategy. Hoping we can reach, we got 3 more days. Hopefully we could reach the 53,000, and then I will, if we do get funded with this strategy, I will write it up and put it in the VIP Discord. So make sure to join that, and then you will have all the info on how to trade it. But again, for viable strategies, I like to test them on a funded challenge, because obviously if a strategy is going to work right, it needs to be able to pass a funded challenge. That doesn't mean in the long term it's going to work the best, but if it can pass that funded challenge, in a nice amount of time, which for now it's been going to be 6 days, then, that's 100% worth having the strategy. So that's kind of how I back test strategies. Is you get a cheap, funded or get a cheap account, and Top Step recently has been just giving away accounts. So testing that out. So far it's been good. Hopefully we can hit that 53,000. But let's get into now. After that, I kind of just veered off from what we were going over because it ended up lining up kind of well. Forex. And wow, Mickey, you got, oh no, never mind. That's a 4-hour. I was like, dude, this thing's already selling off after today? I didn't even see that. Do you want to start us on the euro, Mickey?
Yeah, sure. Euro's just like to the moon right now.
Okay. I'm gonna have you start us on the euro.
Yeah, Euro USD. It's obvious that this is going to the moon, right? Because we have a correlation here, US dollar. Okay, let's move over to the dollar to see what it's doing. Okay, the dollar, it is absolutely tanking, right, from opening bell, ding ding ding, right? So we move over to the euro. And since the USD dollars is in the second half of the pair, we are going to expect the EU to be bullish. Okay. There's not much to say about this. It is just a runaway train that, you know what? I missed the trade. You know, a lot of people are making good pips on this, but according to my rules, I got to stand aside, right? There's too many nice order blocks here, right? With my strategy, I have to sit on my hands and look somewhere else, to be honest with you, right? If we zoom out on a 4-hour, we can see where these levels originated, right? We have nice measured moves to the downside, right? Now, look at price action. Forex is just beautiful with price action, right? And look at the pivot here. Nice measured moves to the upside again, right? So you might think, wow, I could use a fib bracket on my entries on Forex. Absolutely, you could, but you got to know when to stop because those fib brackets don't work all the time. You need to have some confluence, right? If you take your fib level entries, if you're fading the entry in your golden pocket, is there something inside that golden pocket that validates your entry, right? That could be an order block. That could be a fair value gap, right? But as of right now, Euro is stalling a little bit because we do have some breaker blocks and order blocks up ahead. So I am just a little bit cautious on Euro myself, because you know there are other symbols that I like to watch, right? Better setups, which we'll go over in a bit when we head over to the ES. Jacob,
Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at the ES.
what do you got? Did you take any trades on the ES?
No, that's what I was saying. Because I'm testing this strategy right now. I almost had an opportunity to trade, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't. But again, I want to see that Neo Cloud get broken, right? On the 3-minute, didn't break there, but on the YM on the Dow it did. So I ended up taking it on the Dow. Which honestly, of course, it would have been the same. Like I could have just taken it on ES, but the Dow is $5 per tick, so it's a little less risky than the ES. The ES can move very aggressively. So I was like, I'm gonna take the Dow, and yeah, that's kind of where we ended up. But it ended up being a pretty good trade. I'm hoping by the end of the stream we might have a reversal setup on the ES or NQ, but at the moment we're trading kind of slow, and the NeoCloud needs to change. That NeoCloud needs to flip. So if it does flip, we might have a setup. In this case, by the way, for those of you asking about the strategy too, was right now we've been in a solid uptrend. We've tested that NeoCloud several times. So you can see we did exit on the downside here already. So technically in the strategy, obviously we would want to see a candle close on the outside and then continue. Maybe, and then you target the high as like your take profit. But because this thing's been running as much as it has, I don't like the risk behind this trade at a high, right? I want to see the flip like we had this morning. It was bearish, all pre-market and early session. And then it flipped bullish. So I look for the bullish flip after the first or second retest. But what we can do here in a second, if it does break back out, with a nice volume, is we can just mark up a trade to do a test. I don't really want to take an actual trade on it because it's too high. But if it does flip, then we'll definitely be looking for a trade, a real trade. So for now, though, on the ES, let's zoom back for sure. The same situation as the NASDAQ. We do have several interest points to keep an eye on. Actually, I'm going to take it over to the signals and overlays as well because we have it. So, I mean, this is already lining up to be nice. 3 signal formed last Thursday. And we have been nothing but bearish below that. That's why I say don't ignore those 3 signals. We are autopilot for those of you who love autopilot midterm. For me, I mean, it's like I do like to optimize mine. I do like to take off, autopilot and then go according to what it tells you. So it would be a 10. You could see like in this current moment, we had a nice 3 signal up here, a lot more aggressive 3 signal with a 10 sensitivity, like it tells us. But when you're flipping through charts a ton, autopilot can help. It's going to be it'll be pretty close to optimize. It's just going to be a little more delayed on those signals. So see, that signal was late. We had that signal before up here around like the 4380, 4400 levels. So nice little setup there, but for the sake of the stream, we'll just put on autopilot for now. But out of the gate, yes, had this retest and a sweep of this low, had that break of structure. If we want to get a nice long setup on a swing, I want to see a structure shift. So I want to see a change of character, which might occur above this previous lower high, right? But, we still are super bearish on the money flow. So if we do get a retracement here and we come back down and we get a turning point on the oscillator, I actually might continue this short, which is very possible. Notice as well, we have a very aggressive trend on the oscillator, but the money flow just flipped with that 3 signal. So money flow is overflowing like crazy right now. And so if we get a turning point in line with this trend, then more than likely we might try a double bottom or something off that same low, but you could potentially get another nice short off of something like 4300. So 4300 is going to be the big watch for me here. So I do think we could rally to 4300 first before we see any problems. But like if we zoom in like onto the 15-minute here, you can see there's an order block from that previous lower high there that's sitting on the 15-minute. Let me see here. Don't you already have a turning point on ES on the 4-hour? On what do you mean? Yeah, on the downside here, in the extended side. But again, we're not trying to fight the trend, right? So unless our reversal strategy indicates that this turning point inside the extended zone is our entry, then sure, you would take it. But that's not the strategy we're looking at right now. We don't want to fight the trend. We have very bearish candles. See, just indicated by red. It means they're bearish. We have bearish money flow. So I'm still looking short until we see a change in all of that. And that's where, patience comes in. I think that's another big thing with people that have asked already about mindset is find a strategy and stick to that strategy, right? If you can find one strategy and stick to it and correct it the way that works for you, then all you have to do is follow what the strategy does, and then you'll never have some dumb entries or exits because you want to enter or exit. If you wait around for that strategy to occur, like I said on the Neo Cloud strategy, for me, all I have to do is wait for the Neo Cloud to shift, or for it to break below or above first and then break back below. I know what needs to happen. So I don't have to sit here and then constantly figure out what my entry is going to be. I could just wait for it to occur and then I take my entry. So then I'm putting more of the pressure on the strategy than myself. And then I can say, hey, okay, that I need to note down if it didn't do well. Or if it did well, I need to also note down why it did well. So that's another thing. It's like I said before, during choppy ranges, if I need a way to figure out to fix a trade during a chop, I pull up something like the oscillator. I notice, how's the oscillator trading? Is it having multiple turning points at an entry? If it does, then I know that could indicate that there might be a chop and a false breakout or whatever it might be that it failed that trade that time. But again, for those of you really struggling trying to find that profitable trading strategy, you need to find something that you can stick to that you like. So, and you need to consistently work on that one strategy. Do not change it. The minute you start jumping around to different strategies is when you're going to start having issues with finding a profitable one just because it might have failed one time on you. You can't have 100% of any strategy. No strategy is going to be 100%. So all you have to do is find the one that works and then stick to it, because then if you do figure that out, you can end up being profitable so long as you stick to that same strategy. So hopefully Mickey agrees with me on that as well.
Yeah, the first thing that what clicked for me was I believe everyone should learn how to do, to be honest with you, is to embrace the loss. We
Yes.
must have the losses, right? It's part of doing this business. We have our own business going on here. Just think about day trading as a business,
Mm-hmm.
franchise or whatever you want to call it. It's our own personal business. The losses are the expenses,
Yep.
the power bills, right? The water bills. It's part of doing business, right? We must take the losses. We must learn how to handle the losses, right? And we have to have the right mindset for the losses, because without losses, we're not going to win, right? If you
Exactly.
know you have a loss, you know the odds are you're going to win after that, right? So
Right.
once we get our minds wrapped around taking losses, we're going to have a high percentage of losing. 80% of the traders are going to fail, right? Why are the 20% succeeding? Because the 20% of us have learned to embrace the losses, right? So that's my view on mindset, right? Don't worry about your entries or exits or what's a profitable strategy. Just study up and learn that we're going to take the losses. Once you accept that
Yes.
fact,
Mm-hmm.
it's all golden.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a loss this morning. No big deal, right? Let's get back on the horse and look for another trade. That's it. But if you don't handle the losses, that one loss is going to kill your whole week,
Oh yeah.
right?
Every time.
Like in Discord this morning, I reminded everyone, don't get yourself in a bad move. We have the rest of the week. This is only Monday. Don't be making a stupid dumb trade right off the bat on Monday. That's just a wrong way to go, because if you have one bad trade that it's a bad trade, but you just took it, downhill from here, you know?
Another good thing too, if you guys understand, if you really want to know, like how some of these, like back tested trading systems or back tested strategies, try the strategy. This is like just for insight. You don't even have to follow something like this. But notice, like, anytime you see a profitable back tested strategy on the strategy tester within TradingView, and you can literally just go to, like, I just clicked a random one in here. You just go to technicals and strategies, just go through these and find one. Then go and look at, the list of trades. Notice these aren't 100%, but look in the long run. This one made almost $7,000 trading one lot on the ES. So it's like noticing that and seeing that, it has a down draw. It's like you then can understand that, okay, not every single trade here is going to be profitable. So it's just, that's the biggest thing. It's like you just have to recover as quickly as you can from that loss, whether it's walking away or like figuring out what's going to keep you from continuing to trade that day or whatever, or even creating a system to where it can tell you, like I did here with this thing, like when I know exactly when I need to take the trade, right? And so if it fails, it fails. I don't have to worry about it because I know so far in the process that it's done well. And with the right risk to reward, even if I have a loser of $100, $200, then I can go back and take another trade and gain that back if the setup is there. So it's about understanding that, there's multiple ways to bounce back from that as well. So it's really, it does take a lot to get to that point, but it's just sticking to it, right? It's always with anything. It's like, if you can't just pick up a skateboard and do a kickflip immediately. It's like you just have to do it 100 times. And that's the same with trading. It's like people say trading is very difficult, and it is. It's one of the most difficult things to do. But that's all because of the mindset that it takes. So it's like the minute you give up that mindset and you just let the trades come to you and you're patient about it, then you're gonna start seeing a a nice difference in your trading that's gonna help you benefit even more than what you already are. And this breakdown is distracting me. I'm starting to speak nonsense. So we could actually have a setup. I'm hoping that'd be cool to get a setup on one of these. It seems like the Dow likes to lead these moves today. So again, I have what's cool, and I should just. I wish I could show you guys. I can't actually. I'm gonna bring it over. So the best part, though, if you do develop a strategy with the Luxalgo premium indicators, you can set up alerts for them. And that's my favorite thing about it, because I don't even have to sit here and watch the charts. I have all my Neo clouds set up on each one that I like to trade, for crude oil, for the ES, for the micro NASDAQ, because I don't like trading the full NASDAQ because it's too risky right now. Gold, or gold futures, sorry, and then nat gas futures. So every single time the Neo Cloud changes from bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish, I get an alert, and you'll probably see it pop up. And so when that occurs, I can then, come on over. I can look at my chart like it did here and this morning on the YM, and then I wait, and then I set alerts accordingly. Like I had an alert set right here on this below that Neo Cloud to make sure if it did break below it, I knew it happened. So, that's just other ways to keep you from having to sit here and, the more you sit and wait, the more you're going to want to take that trade. So that's the other thing. It's like, unless you're good at sitting there and being extremely patient, which not a lot of us are, and I know I'm not, but distracting yourself until that trade occurs can be another fun tip to practice for sure. Go alerts. Can you show NeoCloud alerts, the settings? Yeah, Brad, I can. So on what I have for these, what's cool is after the alert is set, you can take it off your chart, but just in signals and overlays, if you come down here, I don't have it ticked on here because, like I said, I set the alert and then I just took this off, so I don't have to see, let's see it. So I don't have to see the little box down here. So I didn't have to have that on my chart because, when it's on this little tiny time frame like this, or these little tiny boxes, I don't really want to see the little dots down there. So after I set the alert, I just take those off. But for these settings here, I go into signals and overlay settings. Yeah, we can look at the SPX 500 4-hour here in 1 sec. Neo Cloud checked, of course. Neo Cloud switch up and then switch down. I have an alert set for each one. All you have to do is do that, and then you hit this here, add alert, and then custom alert, and then all I said was Neo bearish or Neo bullish, depending on what it had, once per bar close. Did that twice for each one. So one bullish, one bearish alert, one bullish, one bearish, one bullish, one bearish on each one of these. So 6 different ones that it can incur on. So pretty simple, just under the custom alert section. So it tells me when it switches, which is going to be the first indication of a first time setup, which is perfect. But Edward wanted to see the Mickey, we're gonna have you show your settings for price action concepts here in a second.
Sure.
But Edward wanted to look at the SPX. Let me look here. I was already on a 4-hour. SPX and ES, same thing. Like we said earlier, let me just throw up these order blocks too, and then Mickey will go over his settings on his price action concepts. But we said, we are currently, we grabbed the liquidity below this support here. On ES, NASDAQ had the support a little stronger off this level, but the low there was, 4235. We grabbed that today, and shorts started covering. So after grabbing that liquidity, shorts that covered that entirely. But notice we actually have a pretty aggressive wick here on that last 4-hour close. So in this moment, that's showing that we rejected that Neo Cloud. So that Neo Cloud reject for me right now is indicating that we will possibly go lower. And again, like I said, I don't like to fight these trends. If we're in a downtrend, I'm going to look short until we actually shift structure. So I'm still looking short. Obviously, that is this is for a bigger, longer trade. I would never say fight the trend in any other sense. But if, on my current strategy, if a, long setup occurs, then I will take it like today. But for a longer time frame, 4-hour short is still the move. If you have the Lux suite, just go to signals and overlays and enable NeoCloud. That's just one of the trend following tools. Smart Trail is my other favorite one. It sits up a little higher. Honestly, using these together might be a pretty cool thing to look at, and we'll go over some. Well, we can look at some fun potential strategies here in a little bit as we're just looking at the charts now. But yeah, Mickey, let's see your settings here.
Sure, no problem. Let me go over, since we're on the ES, let me go over my trade that got closed
Oh
out.
yeah, I forgot you did have a trade.
Yeah. And then I'll head over to the
Nice little
settings. Then
intraday.
then it'll all make sense. All right.
For sure.
All right. 4-hour ES chart, right? The gray tones, let me disable something. The gray tones are the 4-hour order blocks. Okay. On the 4-hour chart, I like to overlay a higher time frame order block. So 4-hour chart, I love the dailies. There's my daily, right? The dailies are in color, green and reddish pink. Okay. Here is my trade that just got closed out and filled right before we went live. Okay. This is what I like to see. These are the paths. I like to see price reject from an order block, right? That's the long path. Or I want to see price break down from an order block. Those are the two paths, right? I mentioned two paths on pretty much all live streams. Okay. Price came down. It never broke below. So what did it do? It broke above. It took the long path, right? Took the long path. So what I did was I actually posted this in the Discord VIP room, posted a couple charts and just to let everyone aware of what's going on, right? It's busting out. Okay, so let me go to a 15-minute time frame. Okay, here is the 15-minute time frame. Okay. Let me hide a few things here. All right, 15-minute time frame with 15-minute order blocks. Okay, so on a 15-minute time frame, I like to overlay a higher time frame set of order blocks. So with a 15-minute, I like to overlay the 4-hour order blocks. All right, let me make sure this is 4-hour. 4 hours. Okay, the 4-hour order blocks is in green and pinkish red, somewhere up here, right? Okay, but on the 4-hour, did you notice there was a daily order block there, right? So what I need to do is convert this green order block from a 4-hour order block to a daily order block. Right there, okay? Let it wait till it resets. Now, here is the daily order block. And here's my trade. Here's my trade, okay? Once price broke through the 4-hour template with a daily order block, I put a limit buy order right around this 15-minute order block, the gray, okay? Where did I put it? 42.59 3/4. Right there. Once this bar closed.
Ooh, sorry about
right
that.
there. Right. But the target level is this 15-minute order block. Right. Let's measure that. That's about 80 ticks. Right. 80 ticks, 12.50 a tick. That's $1,000 on one simple contract. I did not take 80 ticks, unfortunately. Why? Because I knew we were heading into a live stream, right? And I knew I had this junk in here, right? I'm looking to the left, right? So this was about 40 ticks. See this blue horizontal manual line tool? Okay, that's 40 ticks right at this junk, right? Here's my entry. 40 ticks, winner, winner, chicken dinner, right? It closed while I was getting ready to set up the live stream with Jacob, and it actually kept on going. It hit this order block out, but oh well, no FOMO, right? Filled me in 40 ticks, $500. I'm pretty good for the week. So that is my trade.
Nice.
I know, right?
Nice. Good job.
But let's go over to the settings here. Okay. Let's see. On the first price action concept, this is my bias chart. It's very simple. I pretty much turn everything off, but I enable the order blocks. I just want to see the charting timeframes order blocks, okay, which is the 4 hour, okay. I want to see many order blocks, more than 5, just like Jacob's chart. I want to see what's below me and above me for future reference, right? So I just arbitrarily put 500. It could be 200. It does not matter. It's all relative, right? I just want to see a lot of order blocks. Okay.
Give them to me.
I know. What else we got? That's pretty much it. It's very simple. I colored them gray tone. Why do I color them gray tone? Because I want to distinguish my second set of order blocks, okay, which is a higher time frame order blocks. Okay, I have it default color green and red, but you know I've changed the opacity here, right? Green and red, and the time frame you can change down here, 1 day or the 4 hour if you want a lower time frame. But the most important is changing the colors for me. So now when I enable both, I see both sets of order blocks here. Okay. The gray tones are the charting timeframes order blocks. The colored ones are the higher time frame color blocks. But I have other instances of price action concepts. So what is that for? One of them is for trend lines, liquidity trend lines, and pattern detection. Okay. I just like adding extra price action concepts for separate features because I can turn them on and off on the fly. But take a look at this while we're on the subject. Take a look at the liquidity trend lines and look where it broke, right? It doesn't work 100%, but it's damn pretty good. But once it breaks, it breaks. Look at this. And look at this pattern detection, right? We have a description of this wedge or triangle. If you hover over the dashboard, right? Where I can't get it. It should say, there you go. Anticipating breakout on either side. What did it do?
Broke down.
Broke down.
Boom.
Right? Winner, chicken dinner to order block.
So for people, especially on the symmetrical triangle, so you would wait not to where it breaks out of the little like point there. You would wait until it changes that that higher low. When it breaks that higher low, that's where you take your trade. So the higher low inside, you see that inside the symmetrical triangle, the higher low there to your left, a little more, boom, right there. So once price breaks below that on the right there, that's where you take your entry. You don't just take it when the symmetrical triangle breaks. You want to see that structure confirm that it breaks lower, and then even off that price point, what a move! Look at it. Look at that retest though as well. It came down, retest exactly that point Insane.
But wait, there's more.
What else, Mickey? What happened?
There's another price action concept. What is that for? Let's turn it on. Boom. Let's turn this off. So it could be, I have another instance, Mickey's tricks and tips, right? Tips and tricks. I have another instance of patterns, right? I have it on a micro. What do I mean by micro? On the default patterns, it's set to 5 for the length. On this set, on the micro, I call it a micro pattern inside the macro. I have it set to 2.
Is the lowest 2 or does it go down to 1?
It goes, I'm sitting at 2. I don't want 1.
No, I
you can do 1.
I forgot. Yeah, this one has a drop down.
2. Yeah. So look what I did. Look at the dashboard size, small, and the other one's bigger. So it tells me which one is which, right? So now on the macro 4-hour symmetrical triangle, we have confluence. On a micro pattern symmetrical triangle, we have confluence. The price broke down both these triangles. Winner, winner, I'm eating chicken dinner, right? So I think it's pretty neat. This may not fit everyone's style in adding all these price action concepts. But wait, there's more.
Goodness gracious. So that's the best part, though. Once you have it all set up, though, like that, you can take them on and off. You don't have to have them all on.
All right. Signals and overlays. Gee, what do I have? Take a guess, Jacob. What feature do I have?
The Neo class.
Yeah, boom. Thank you very much.
Neo. We need a song or something.
There you go. But no, it's cool. What's my typical visual chart? My chart template. It's this. All the stuff. All the other stuff can be good if I was using that for my scalping trades, but my core concept is order blocks. So I am going to have a chart that's clean so I can focus on order blocks. If I had patterns on or the trend lines or whatever, the Neo Cloud, those are good. They have their place in a specific strategy, right? But those are the strategies that I'm not trading today. So the only strategy that I'm focusing on is order blocks. So that's what I only have on my charts, right? It's just order blocks.
Nice.
Okay, there you go. Hope that makes sense. If you need any clarification, I'll be around in the Discord room for the rest of the day. Tag me. I'll answer.
Again, you guys join the Discord in the description. It is free. When you do sign up, and even when you do the 30 days risk-free with us, for the indicators, you get access to the VIP. So the Discord just comes with the indicators. It's not some separate thing you have to sign up for or anything. It does come with the indicators when you sign up. Even with the 30 days risk-free, we're mostly inside of the VIP, but we do answer a lot of questions inside the free, the general area.
Oh, before you go, let me tell you about one other setup.
I mean, we're here for a while, man.
One other setup. Same template, right? Let's just play with the 4-hour order blocks. This was my original concept. Breaker blocks, order blocks. How did I come about it? I did not invent this. I've always mentioned it was because of the Lux Algo short form videos. It was their video on the breaker blocks.
Yes, sir.
It was a simple 30-second video, right here. Price reacted to this order block, rejected higher. Let's head down to a lower time frame.
Matrix.
Right? Here's my 15-minute. Let's get rid of that. Or no, I actually make this the 4-hour order block. 4-hour order blocks right there. Okay.
Only if it wasn't copyrighted, Jack.
There you go. Here was the play, right? On the daily order block, my entry was up here. 40 ticks, and then it went up as high as 80 ticks. The true play was right here. Your entry. Once it rejected the 4-hour order block, off she goes, right? If I would have traded this way, if I would have opened my chart a lot sooner, let's measure this out. Let's go in the middle. Let's go worst case. Let's go at the top of this wick, right? Worst case. Worst case, let's just target this 15-minute order block. There you go. 85 ticks on a simple Lux Algo short form video. Order block, breaker blocks. That's it. Simple. I have no other indicators, just order blocks. All right.
Nice.
There you go.
Cool.
Right.
We are actually possibly getting a setup here shortly.
Let's take a look.
So we're breaking down finally. The Neo on the Dow kind of wants to flip already. You can see it's flipping right now. You'll see in a second. I had those alerts set up. We'll get an alert for it. One sec. I do want to see if I can play this. Hold on. One sec. Hit it. There we go.
Closes.
I want to get some.
Hold on. Let me turn on my app. Hold on.
Let me see your app. No, I was gonna see here. I muted you for a second because I have a lot of copyright-free music that I can play in the background. Look at this dump we're having right now. This is great. Okay, so we are gonna probably get the Neo. We're definitely getting the NeoCloud flip on the Dow. You'll see here in a second that I do get an alert for it. So we're going to wait for that to flip, and then I'll show you what I do when I get that alert here in 2 seconds. And boom. Oh, didn't. Wow.
Oh.
Got bought back up. So there you go. I never got an alert, so I don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
We might get it here shortly. We'll wait and see. But notice, though, what's interesting is seeing so this is kind of cool here on the NASDAQ. And this should be literally lined up to be the exact same. Pretty much. Yeah, perfect. All right. Let me go back to the MNQ here. Betty said, I love seeing the NASDAQ and ES dump and then get happy about a short position, but then I realize I have stocks. That's why you offset those with that's the other thing. It's like if you could offset those with day trades, then you're set, man. Yeah, we'll look at we can look at that pair for sure, the euro and the pound. But let me see here. So this is what's interesting on the NASDAQ is notice how the NeoCloud is still a block. It hasn't deformed very much. It's trying to right now. So seeing that is definitely an indication that this price level currently wants to hold. So I definitely want to see if this thing can set up for a breakout again. If it happens, I won't like it for like a legit trade, just because we're at a high here. I want to see that shift. So we might get it here shortly on the Dow. So we'll keep it on the Dow. While we're doing this, though, what we can do, right, is we can go look at other things like the euro versus the pound on Owanda. So do you want to see, probably, let's start with the 4 hour. 4 hour, man. Wow. What a trend. This thing's looking good. Okay. So, I mean, we don't make this up, Mickey.
I can do a backflip on the skateboard for the first time.
There you go. We're already rejecting that beautiful 4 hour golden order block. Like, reason why I have it gold is because look at the way it reacts. But honestly, for certain order blocks too, if you understand generic supply and demand, where does this order block that I'm seeing also line up with, right? If I were to just take this box, the exact same width, and then I drag it over, what was this before? This was demand, right? This was demand back early this year in January. It bounced here, it bounced here, it bounced here, it bounced here, bounced here, broke underneath. Now guess what? First time we retested, of course it's going to reject. It's a very high probability. Now, obviously, with everything that's going on, it could have blown right through it. But we're gonna say this level, 100% is gonna have some type of reaction, like very high percentage of reaction. Now you can't be 100% on it, but again, it's gonna be a high percentage. We're trying to have that edge, right? So this though, the best part is even if I'm a pro trader, right, and I understand the supply and demand theory, and I understand that price tends to come back to these levels. Price tends to react off these levels. I could mark that. Fine. Yeah, I can mark it and I could trade it easily. There you go. Marked and traded. But why would I want to waste my time, if I can grab this box, marking that off when I could just turn on the the price action concepts indicator and just trade, like already have them marked for me. It's like that's way more valuable because, of course, with anybody, time is way more valuable than wasting it trying to chart these down. And clearly, this was an order block that formed before or after that broke. So this might be lining up with a breaker block as well. But noticing this right now and setting a lower high, I'm going to at least target possibly a retest of the Neo. The Neo cloud at the moment is bullish, right? We haven't fully came inside that Neo cloud yet, so we're going to target that something like this, right? So if I were to take it a short off this resistance, I can use the Neo cloud as a target because even though it's bullish on a smaller time frame, that's a pretty big move. So I could target this, wait for a setup, and then go back to the bull side. Gold is 4 hour. I should just put like a big sign, gold 4 hour. But here, so here you go. We're on the 4 hour time frame. Gold is 4 hour. So again, that order block lined up perfectly with previous demand as well. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And we've already rejected it. So again, if I were to say, hey, I'm going to take a short off this when it enters midway through, and even if I mark this off as a horizontal line, we can, go back to previous day. This nearly touched the exact lows. I mean, look at that. Exact lows there. So that's the 50% level of that order block. And it touched it perfectly on the euro pound here. And then now price action has set up perfectly for that, little retracement. Now we do have, an uptrend that is still in play. But again, if I were to take, a short off that or this lower high that got formed, I could target right where that uptrend might get caught, with the Neo. So this here, still a little bearish on it on the 4 hour. But again, another great example of why these order blocks can be important, no matter the level of trader that you are. So nice little setup there. Let's see here. Though, I wanted to go bring the YM back on that ish. Let me see. Here we go. Still hasn't shifted on the Neo cloud. The Neo on the E-mini, on the NASDAQ is still bullish. We exited it again. So if we actually because we exited twice now, if we actually do break back over this, I like it for a trade. I'm going to do the hand bell here so it's not super loud for you guys. So we have an alert there. If we break up through that, then we might have a nice little setup. For the 4 hour though, Jimmy, on that pair, I like it bullish. But in the time being, short term, like a few hours from now, I like it, a little bearish, a little bit of a retracement because it's had such a big run. So yes, for now, you might have a decent downside for a little bit. But MNQ still sitting in that bullish Neo cloud. We would want it to break out or flip. The Dow can sometimes indicate, right? This is YM, the Dow Jones, Dow 30, whatever you guys trade, US 30, sorry, can indicate the early move that, the NASDAQ and the ES might have. So because it's a little more volatile, a little choppier. So we'll see if this flips. Maybe it'll drive the rest to flip as well. But for the time being, man, look at gold trying to break back out. Maybe retest that high. I wish the gold would have flipped earlier. It still hasn't. It's been so choppy here. Notice how small that Neo Cloud is. I don't like. In a second, we might actually get that change, and then a thick enough Neo Cloud to actually trade. But for now, nothing too crazy. Let me see here. I want to see if I can pull up this playlist, and it's decent. No, this is very sad music. What do you like? What kind of music? That's a good question. What kind of music would you guys like in the background? Because we could do like, I feel like music is good. I mean, I have a bunch of like non-copyright music that we could play.
Mosh pit.
That's what. Yeah, that's what we talked about. We could play like lo-fi house music, maybe. Yeah, I know. I played that before, like lo-fi jazz, and some people thought it was kind of boring, but we can play whatever. Kind of just add a little bit. Hardcore metal, as this man said. But yeah, let's see here. This isn't too bad. Lo-fi house. I actually haven't listened to lo-fi house very much. All right, this will work though for now. But I mean, we could wait around. Johnny Cash. I wish we could play music like that, but then it's, you know, we just get flagged for it and get taken down. I wish we could play it. But we'll wait. See if we can get some type of change here in trend.
What are you stalking now?
I mean, I have all 6 of the ones I normally trade up. So, I do, though. I like the NASDAQ for an upside trade if it breaks out of the Neo Cloud to the upside. I really do like it.
Nazi.
So we'll see. Nazi. Gold as well if it breaks out of this range. But I'm liking the price action so far on this retracement on the ES. Because notice, what do you see? You see a bull flag at these highs forming now. 3-minute obviously is a little more aggressive on a bull flag because it's going to be a lot more candles. But like a 5-minute, I bet you looks just like one. Well, it is retesting this low now, so not as much as I would want it. I would have wanted it to break out of like here, which would have been actually a pennant. But for now, we'll just wait. I like that the Neo isn't changing much, though, on the NASDAQ. So we'll see if we get a setup to the upside there. Maybe into power hour. We have power hour in about 30 minutes. We can see where it's going. We can take a look at Bitcoin for the time being, because it looked like it did reject while we were talking, and it did. A little bit. Whoa. Did it hit our target? Wait a second. That was interesting. I thought our target was... It did hit our target. Nice. So it hit our target on that initial spike there that we really liked. And I wanted to see it on let me see here. On the signals and overlays as well. So the signals and overlays target not fully hit. Remember we said 31,500. So we'll see if it can get somewhere around there. Let's go down to that 15-minute time frame and see. Okay, yeah, 15 minutes looking super solid for another breakout. But again, look, rejected that 15-minute order block there, but still solid green. And what do you see? Where is it bouncing? It's bouncing off that previous high. So again, so long as that previous high holds in, price action standards, this is going to continue. What else do we see? We see the oscillator continuing as well here on Bitcoin. Oscillator's starting to reset, looking for that pump and move once again. Do you think gold will climb as conflict goes in the Middle East, or might the war hype be fading? That conflict in the Middle East has been around forever, like long time. So obviously now they're a little bit more aggressive than they normally are, because they're normally just talking bad about each other. But for now, I mean, anything can happen, right? Like news drives the market regardless. So I would, keep my ear to the ground, make sure you're knowing what's going on over there. If it gets even more ramped up, yeah, you probably will see commodities like oil and gas and gold be going up in price for sure. Can you show any tips and tricks of the Lux Matrix? Also, the Lux Matrix, can you turn on the confluence meter? Yeah, for sure. Confluence meter. Guess what? We have the alert set on our other strategy, so I can sit here and go over whatever you guys want to go over, and then we'll know because the alerts. Best part. So confluence meter, pretty cool little device on the side that pops up here. I mean, this is technically being measured the same as the confluence bars up and down here, right? So these, so when you see these light up, heavier on the bull side, heavier on the bear side, right? So technically you don't necessarily need the confluence meter, but this can really actually help when you look for these resets, right? So this resetting back towards that 50 level in line with the hyper trend here that's coming back down could indicate, a nice little setup for an upside move. The matrix, biggest thing I like to see is swing points. Like, show me the swing points, right? I don't want to see a bunch of little dots gathered together. We call that coiling, right? Because that indicates, there could be some chop there. But I want to see stuff like this. This is a good thing to note on the oscillator. You want to see really clean points, right? When these gather together, it could be coiling, so look for support and then look for a breakout on those points. But if you want to see proper, swings, then you look for points like that. In my opinion, on this oscillator, before any reversal, you want to see it extend to either side. So that's another thing. If inside this box, that's all that it's trading between the 80 and the 20 level, which again, in the settings, if you want to see it even cleaner, you can go down to the, I think it's this guy here. Oh, wait, no. Where am I? Is under style? I think so. Here, boom. Under style in the matrix, go down to the bottom, you'll see 80-20. What you can do here is you can, not make a dotted line, or you can just ramp these up to 100%. And now I know the extended levels, right? So I want to see price extend out of these levels before continuing in any other direction. So in this case, notice this was a great setup for Bitcoin on the 4-hour. Is it extended to the downside before it rallied, right? Got a turning point, a bullish turning point. Then you got that 3 signal. Then you had that higher low that formed. And then you had the money flow flip. So noticing that extended first was that first indication that this has been selling off. The volume was strong on the sell side. Now it might be time to flip. And then, look, you extend again on this upside. Very choppy upside extension with the money flip. Then comes back down. You see price reset when it comes back into the Neo Cloud. If you confluent with the Neo Cloud, then guess what? You break out of the Neo, and you have that next leg up with a higher low on that oscillator. So, again, we want to see clean swings. And then we want to see extended swings as well before a move, right? What happened here? Extended swing. Got the turning point here, extended area. Now we look for a bearish setup. Neo Cloud was still bullish, but if you were looking at the, this is a 15-minute chart, you're looking at a quick trade, you technically could have had a trade down through here. Now, Bitcoin, we have to understand is, it can be super volatile at times, and sometimes it can have super clean price action. So other things to take into account when trading certain assets. But if we're talking about futures or things like gold or crude oil or ES and stuff, trade at average normal volume every day, then it's a little bit easier to plan out those moves. So, thanks, Jacob. Keep up the great work. You guys are changing trade for the better. Oh, I appreciate it, man. Me and Mickey are just on here to help you guys become better traders, as well as show us our own process in becoming a better trader, because we still struggle every day. It's not something you can 100% master every day, because the markets are constantly changing. So it's a matter of just getting through it and not letting your mind overcome your processes or strategies, because it can totally take over and ruin a lot of trades.
No joke.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy. It's like that's the biggest fight is you against yourself. It's not against the charts. It's against yourself. But yeah, I'll set a matrix. Would you short Bitcoin now? No, I wouldn't. I want to see that NeoCloud break. It's 15-minute, right? 4 hour. Once again, everything leans bullish, right? Like we want to see, like that's why we say don't fight the trend. I should just put it in bold letters on the stream. Don't fight the trend. Wait for it to properly set up for a reversal. Okay, but in this time that we're waiting here as well, we have another one of my favorite candle setups that's formed several times already, but it hasn't fully played out. Is where you have where these wicks don't line up. So no wick here. This wick never touched that wick. So in this case, we do have the NeoCloud shrinking a bit. Let's see here. I'm liking this more because price is tending to reset. I do like this more. So if the NQ breaks off of here, we now have, a potential trade to retest this. We're not looking for anything crazy. That's 100 ticks. So this is the MNQ. 100 ticks for us on this end is $200. To the low here. Let's see if it does break out of here. To the low, it's probably a little bit more than 100. Yeah, it's a 177. So for this move, we're risking 300 to make 200. But again, what we always say is once we get that move, that start of that move, we'll move our stop pretty quickly. So we'll see if we get that breakout. We're gonna wait for the alert to trigger, of course. On the NASDAQ though, notice ESC. This is where it's like me. Technically, I would never take a trade up here because it's been rallying all day. But since it's came back down and we're live, we might just try something. We might take it on the practice to see if this would be, because this is something I haven't taken a trade on yet. Is when it happens after a massive rally like this. So we'll probably take a practice trade on this just to see, because it could be an indication. Remember, we've only been doing this for 3 days, so we're up $1,500 in 3 days. But we haven't fully had a super, we haven't fully had a big loss yet. So it's like this is where practice comes into it. It's like, can I still make this trade at these highs? Well, we're about to find out if it actually sets up. So we'll make sure we're on a practice. We're on a practice here. So 1,500 on the actual funded or the funded challenge, and then we'll jump to the practice for a trade like this because we have reached our profit target for the day. So let's see if we get ES is breaking here, but NQ again. Remember NQ, I like that it's still a strong Neo. So we'll see. Get that alert here in a sec. But man, gold is holding up for sure. ES broke back over, but again, I think the NASDAQ's gonna tell us what's actually gonna move here, because just overall on these multiple different ones trading close to the same. Watch the lagging one. The lagging one will probably tell you. Dow tells you early, and then either the ES or the NASDAQ might tell you late. So saying, okay, this is signaling, and then this potentially could be signaling. Once that does, then we look for the setup or look for the entry. Gold sideways today.
Gold is stuck in a daily order block. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, you are correct on that one. I wonder if while we're waiting, let's see. Wait, do I want to do it on this one? Yeah, I'll do it on this one. I thought I had the. I thought I was logged in on here.
Yeah, dollar's pushing lower now. One more leg.
Oh, yeah, that was a flip. Do I think candle shape really matters? Yeah. Oh yeah, it tells everything in a candle. It can tell, candles can tell you the order flow of what's occurring. Especially, you want to look at them more at significant levels as well. It's like, where is a hammer forming or a shooting star? Where is all that forming? And you want to see them form at highs or lows. So seeing that, or at resistance or support, seeing that can really help flag, a possible entry. That probably had a 1,000 lot seller, maybe. That was a pretty decent drop. Definitely on the yes. So they don't want to drive this higher. So then there you go, guys. See what we were talking about is never really had a significant close over the top of that Neo cloud. So there's not really a trade to be taken. So now though, we might get that Neo flip, which would be awesome. Let's see, is that we're at we have about hour 15 left of market open. So it'd be cool to see something.
Anyone trade the dollar? I haven't heard too many people, too many traders trade the actual dollar.
It seems like the dollar would be fun to trade, to be honest. I don't even trade it. It's like what do you, is the dollar considered like a forex? Like, would you trade it? Like, where do you trade it?
I don't personally trade it. I know some members do. That's a good question. I mean, you trade it as an index, to be honest.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying, like, is it a common thing to be traded?
I think for us in the States, it's going to be tough for us to locate that. For us to trade, we'd have to go offshore, and I have my opinions on that, as you know. But for others overseas in the European nations, they can trade that day in and day out.
He's saying you can trade it on prop firms. Let's see if I. It doesn't come up on Trader. Oh, you could probably trade it on like FTMO or something. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. We are currently waiting for possible setup. Now, again, here you go. We're trying to bounce once again here. Yeah, what's up? What's your question? Would happily answer it for you.
Bruh.
That's his question, bro. What's up, bro?
Yeah, back at you. Okay, next question.
Man said, bro.
What else we're looking at? What else?
We're just being patient now. I love the volatility though. This definitely spiked some type of volume. I don't know what. Some seller came in and spiked that. I mean, look at the other thing you can look at, guys, is that's fun to pair these with. If I can find hold on. I deleted that one page. Let me just full screen this. This is the tick. Tick's a good way to measure what's going on as well. This is the cumulative tick for the NYSE. So all stocks in, together are currently ticking positive. So every stock that's in the New York Stock Exchange is ticking positive right now. When it's below, it's ticking negative, but there's also 0 points, so they could be break even, meaning everything together now is positive at the moment. This guy said, "How expensive is subscription for TradingView? And is it worth it?" What subscription for trading? What do you mean? We're not.
Oh, the monthly plans or the yearly? What
are we talking about TradingView or like Luxalia?
Yeah, I think he's talking the platform, charting platform.
I mean, it's pretty cheap. They just.
I mean, the basic free version still works.
They dropped the amount of indicators down to 2 for some reason.
Yeah, I mean,
most people only use 2. You don't have to use it like. But again, I think it's like $7 a month or something now. It's pretty crazy how cheap it is, or like 14 maybe for just the basic plan. But again, you
Yeah,
can
I
have
mean,
a free account.
the free version is just good enough to start. You can have signals and overlays and the oscillator matrix. There's your two. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
no,
it.
yeah, exactly. I
You know?
think the like Divergence King. Is that what you're trying to say? Divergence? And this we're in chop right now. While we're in chop though.
ES is just rejecting off that daily order block again.
Right. Yeah, we'll see if we can get a nice setup here in a second. But real quick, I do want to go over that you can for King here asking about other divergence indicators in the matrix. We do, if you go into our library on the website and you search something like divergence, you can see the other divergence indicators that we have. S&P divergence is a super popular concept, and then the triangular momentum oscillator and real-time divergences. So just other ways that you guys can like utilize the website, and these are free indicators for you guys. Just go to luxalgo.com/library or just click library on the front page. But again, if there's something specific you want to know about, you just click in here. You go, okay, I want a Fibonacci indicator. I click on this, bunch of different Fibonacci indicators that we have released. If I want to learn, I want to use, we just released one that's a liquidation level. I'm pretty sure it's an AI that just like predicts where the highest probability liquidation levels would be for, accounts. And then like you want to learn candlestick pattern based ones. We have ones for that as well. And then like trailing stop. That was another one. One of my favorite recent ones is the Fibonacci trailing stop. That one is insane. I love that indicator. But again, these are completely free for you guys. Just go to luxalgo.com/library and you can see if it's available for your platform as well. It's not just TradingView on these. So I can get it on, I can get some of these on Thinkorswim too, like the market structure trailing stop is available on Thinkorswim and MetaTrader and NinjaTrader. So that is for the some of these indicators under the library. So make sure you go and check that out. But let's get back into the charts again, and it just continues to reject. I wish the Neo would flip, but that's why we have alerts, right? We get to wait and see what's up next. You seen anything over there? Looks like the 15-minute there is just not wanting to go any higher. I don't know what. There must be something happening at this moment. I don't think there's anything too crazy, but somebody just drove price into some crazy movements here. Let's see. After hours today, earnings-wise, nothing crazy. We have Logitech, actually. Logitech is the only one that I would like to even look at. I don't know. How big is Logitech's market cap? It's not very big. Let's go. Logitech. Hold on. I think, what are they? Logi? Yeah. They have earnings after hours. They are, 11.5B is not too bad, actually. Verizon tomorrow, they're pre-market. Actually, we can look at some pre-market stuff, too. Let me see here.
Hey, you got some nice gaps in there, huh?
Oh, you're talking about on Logitech?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, pre-market Coca-Cola and Verizon and 3M. Oh, and Spotify. Spotify usually has a pretty crazy earnings. Come on, let's get a Neo flip, please. But yeah, actually, let's just pull up. Give me 1 sec. I posted it in the chat earlier. See if I open browser here, if I can have it up. Yeah, well, we might as well look at earnings. I just need to hold on. Where did I post my? Wait, that was last week. Here you go. I want to open this. Boom. There you go. So there you go. Coke, Verizon, GE, right? Yeah, GE, 3M, and Spotify. So we might as well just take the time to look at some of these earnings. I'm going to, while we're waiting on the Neo to flip, is there anything earnings-wise you guys want to start with? Because we could start with Verizon or Spotify. But give me 1 sec while I pull up. Hopefully I can get this up for you. 1 second. Nice. Did come up. Now, I don't know. I saw the free version of Benzinga. Oh, I appreciate it. Tops? Do you trade tops with it? Do you trade the shipping stock tops? Man, I used to trade tops so much. Wow. This thing just gets no volume anymore. Did it get off the market? Just random spikes this thing used to have. What the recent split was? 1 to 12. This company is insane. I used to trade this so much. Whenever it had like actual volume. Oh, that Neo Cloud. Big arcing Neo Cloud there. All right.
Nice.
Big arcing Neo Cloud. That's crazy. Let's bring the YM back up. Okay. Man, we do not want to break these lows. That's okay. If that volume can step in here. We got 5 minutes until a new hour candle too, so that could really help. Let's see if I can pull up. Hopefully I can. I don't think I will be able to though. They kind of Benzinga Pro took down their ways of looking at certain parts of like Verizon of earnings. Let me see. I might be able to. Let's see. Sorry, give me 1 sec. I'm looking here. Oh, they added short interest. We can also look at it just on the chart here. Key data earnings. Gosh dang it. Yeah, no, they don't let you. They don't let you on the free version, of course. I had a feeling they wouldn't. Anyway, we can look at what I like to do for the earnings is so we got Verizon, right? We're looking at quarter period ending in September. Obviously reporting in October. So if we go back first, I like to look at, what usually happens when they report in October, right? So last October, they ended up beating 2% on the EPS, 1% on revenue, which is good to know so far. Last quarter, though, it was a gap down. It's like if we just take off, signals and overlays, we can, see the gap down a little clearer. Had a 4% gap down, nothing too crazy. This was occurring at, what was this price point? 35. We're currently at 31, so we're below that. They are projected about the same as the quarter before. So they've hit the past 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. We'll see if Verizon can hit again. Be cool. But being at the price that it's at, I don't see why they wouldn't have too big of a change. They're down from they've been downtrending a bit from quarter 4 of last year. Quarter 4 last year, they had a nice jump on their profit margin, and then they've been just in a decrease now. So we'll see if it wants to continue or not. But yeah, no, we're just sideways as can be here. We also got Spotify, which is a fun one to keep an eye on. Already pumping today, up 3.5% today. Where and how would you use premium and discount zones on trades for ES and CL? So, yeah, honestly, I'm down to do something like that. Let's go to this chart here. Boom. Wait. Do we have a? Oh, sweet. This is my blank one. All right. Let's go to ES. What time frame, Brad? So if we were going to use discount zones, what time frame do you want on? 5 minute, 3 minute? I wouldn't go lower than 3 minute in my opinion. 15 minute. 4 hour. You let me know. 4 hour, 1 hour. Okay, let's start with the 1 hour. This is lower. So he was asking premium discount zones. And okay, yeah. Let's just pull that up for now. Only premium discount zones I'm going to put on here. And then we can go over kind of what how we would use them. First off, for any longs, you want to be in discount. For any shorts, you want to be in premium, right? So you could also play the equilibrium on breaks, which really helps too. Like here was a break on ES, had a nice continuation, but this was also in a pretty aggressive downtrend, right? Now that would be our first level of confluence that we would need. So recently we did post something about having, chart patterns inside these zones. So in this current, we had a double top up here that was formed on the current chart pattern. But this is a longer time frame pattern, which was 5. We bring it down to 2, like Mickey had it for his more intraday ones. We can see what's forming. Now you got a descending breaking wedge, right? Now this can indicate a possible, I think, descending breaking wedges. Is that bullish? I think it is. If we want to know that. I didn't ever trade breaking wedges. Let's see. Yeah, it is. You can even search it if you don't know what it is. Actually, look. Wow. We don't even have to do that, right? Mickey actually showed me something new today. I didn't even know. You can just highlight over it. Look at this. Oh, broadening wedge. Look at me. Can't even say it right. The descending broadening wedge is bullish.
Expand your screen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, your watch
That's
list.
That's my bad. Can you hear me, by the way, Mickey?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I didn't know. Again, sorry. See, I don't even have to search this. Look, I went in here and searched it like an idiot. We already have that implemented into the chart patterns right here. Boom. It says the descending broadening wedge is a bullish reversal pattern anticipating an upside breakout. Look at this, already on ES. It's forming. So ES here, look. We get that upside breakout. Now we're in a discount zone. That's 2 levels of confluence now that I really like for this being an actual pattern to be taking on the 1 hour here. So in my opinion, there's several other ways we can go about doing this on potentially taking a long. We're in a discount. Very nice long setup. Let's just talk about like maybe drawing a fib. I need to take the fib off the low, which is right here on this candle, which would be like here. So if we wanted to take a potential trade right now for a reversal, we want to see a higher low, something indicating that structure change. But if I have as well on the price action concepts, I have the internal structures, I can know when it's going to change. Now I'm going to bump this up so we can see it better. But so far, we're in a bullish change of character on the 1 hour. So we have this broadening wedge, which is a bullish pattern that was already drawn for us. We didn't have to even draw it. We're in a discount zone. We have a bullish change of character. Now we need an entry, right? We need a place to entry. We can do one thing like a Fibonacci, yes. Like I showed you earlier, we can do a Fibonacci. We can do a fair value gap to enter on. So there you go. We need to maybe retrace to this fair value gap, see how it reacts, or retrace the one down there for a nice entry. Notice where it's rejecting right now, though. It is actually rejecting off a fair value gap. But we're still kind of inside that broadening wedge. So if we were to take this, I do like that we've had highs and lows throughout this wedge. But we are currently breaking out. I want to see a nice higher low form, and then I'm looking for a long. So there you go on the 1 hour using discount zones. Discount right now, super strong for a potential long because it is in a discount with a pattern set up. That's just on the price action concepts indicator. If I were to pair it, at another level with signals and overlays, see that Neo cloud got broken on the upside. So if we get a setup, we're probably going to break it once again. But if we put on like the AI signals, we can see what's, let's turn on that signal mode, confirmation exit. And look at that. We had a 2 signal down here already. Let me put on good coloring too. Now this is actually my thoughts are turning bullish now. So here you go. Boom. 2 signal. So we're in a bullish signal. Broadening wedge is bullish. We rejected a bearish fair value gap, so I want to see a higher low and then a breakout. But again, being in a discount though, I'm always looking for longs in a discount. 100% of the time. Looking for the long setup. So not a setup just yet, but nice little potential trade coming along. Gold update. Yeah, let's go look at gold real quick. And it really hasn't gone anywhere. Let me look at the pair as well, make sure it's lower high. It is bouncing. How the 2 signal. We're in a premium though on a 1 hour to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we're still in it. We retraced. Now we're back in a 3 signal. Look what it bounced off of. It bounced off of FVG. Now, what I like to say is, look at this. Look at our own pattern analysis. Is we have a bull flag, pretty aggressive bull flag here. Now it could set a new low, but if this thing actually sets a higher low, this closes in 2 hours at a higher low, then we might look at it or a potential pennant type formation. So at this high, which is really good. So we no detected pattern right now either. But seeing that 3 signal pop back up on this uptrend is a good sign that gold could continue. We did like it before, especially with this order block here, these order blocks. So these order blocks are definitely act as resistance already, but it's back inside and wants to possibly break out. So we'll see. It's rejected this order block several times before. So we'll see if we can get that continuation breakout. It'd be real nice. And with that 3 signal, man, everything's kind of lining up for this potential breakout, but we want to see it break out first. Pretty cool ways to go about it, but man, that one chart was getting me hyped. Oh, here we go. Watch this. Okay, let's see how this works here. We're going to bring down the... remember, we are going to use this as a practice test because we don't normally, right? We don't normally take trades when it's been moving this much to one side. So Neo's still pretty thick. It has been decreasing though. So I'm not a massive fan of this, but we do want to test it on our practice here because we already hit our profit target for the day on the actual whatever account. But again, it has to break out though. We need that Neo break. So it still hasn't broken. But I moved now my alert down to that Neo spot again. Wow. Every single time it gets close, it just rejects.
Almost.
MQ7 down the Neo. Does that mean lower chance of a breakup? Yeah. I mean, it's going to follow. That means it has a potential of, changing when it starts stepping down. But notice it's still pretty thick. Look how thin it has to get. Find it better. Here you go. This is kind of a good indication. Look how thin this is here. Right? Look how thin that is before it turns. So it's still, see this, the thickness here. I mean, this isn't actually how I would measure it, but just for the sake of it. Thickness here, let's just say it's 14. Don't think of that as the amount of ticks or anything. But like, noticing this here, this is 19. So it's still pretty big. But again, and it's higher low. It's trying to break that structure. If it does break out, strong candle, something like this, we'll see. Look, all we have to do is target like this candle high up here. So we'll see how that goes. But again, this is at a high. Normally, I would not take this trade, but for the stream and testing purposes, we definitely want to see what it would do on a practice account, so then we can note it down, and then next time we come across that trade, we'll possibly take it. So we'll see. But it does not seem to be liking these levels, so we already are not looking good for an entry just yet. But man, gold, yeah, gold, it looks good to keep going. That's crazy. It actually might go grab that 2,000 and then decide to reverse. But that little, I'm loving this though. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this on gold beforehand, before this run. Do we have any pattern down here? If it'll load. Oh, it's struggling loading. Hold on. Let me go to this time frame. Go down here way before the move. There we go. Boom. All right, we had a descending triangle. Descending triangle is a bearish continuation pattern. All right, so with that descending triangle, it never ended up breaking down, so I wouldn't have taken it, right? And then it struggled forming something else. It's trying to form, and then we had an ascending wedge, which is also bearish reversal. So in this case, it forming like this is where that indication of this length being as low as it is, you probably don't want to take it on a 4 hour. You'd look at it, you know, that's why default is 5. So you have, you know, those more confirmed patterns. You can see in the 4 hour state, it's not in a confirmed pattern. But if we were to take that pattern detection off, because I don't normally have pattern detection on, we look at, you know, where we're at. Was it a daily order block we bounced off of down here? I think so. Let's see. Off that gold low, and there's a lot of 4 hour order blocks sitting down there. So this is another indication, like, you're in a discount, right? Off of 4 hour order block, you get the bullish change of character, and guess what? You bounce off of what? A FVG. There would be your entry off that FVG. Target equilibrium. Boom. Rejected equilibrium. But then higher low, and then rally to that next order block. Looking for the premium. Hits premium, and then busts right through it. So overall, it's really using multiple levels of confluence to find that entry. And man, I wish we could get a setup, guys, but I'm sorry. But it's a good thing though, right? We don't need to, like, I'm sitting here saying I wish we could get a setup, but notice I'm not taking a trade because I just want to take a trade. I'm like, I have to wait for this setup to occur. So it's keeping me out of a non-potential trade, right? So that's why having a system is so key. So you don't have to worry about, you know, doing, like, taking a crappy trade just because you want to take one.
Focus.
Focus. But
while we're waiting, I could show natural gas.
Yeah, man. Go over some NG.
Just let me know when your alerts fire off.
Oh, I will.
All right, nat gas 4 hour. Where is my nat gas traders in the room? I know you're out there, but I mean, it's very simple, right?
I'll be right back.
4 hour order blocks, the gray and white tones, and the colored order blocks are the daily order blocks, higher time frame order blocks. Okay. My personal rule is I do not trade inside any of these order blocks. I need to see a break out of an order block or rejection from an order block. Okay. So here are the paths of these past 2 recent moves. Okay. I am looking for a reject, breaking upside, or a breakdown. Okay. On this move, it took the bearish path, right? So what we do is I am going to look for shorts on a lower time frame. Okay. Going to look for shorts. For the most part, if my timing is off on a lower time frame, for the most part, for a higher probability, I am on the safe side of the trade. Okay. Depending on my timing of entry, I may get some retracement, right? But at least I'm on the right side of the trade. Okay. Now, for this current move, okay, this daily order block in green, and we have a couple charting time frame order blocks of 4 hours. We have 3 order blocks in the zone, right? This was created back over here. Okay. So what are my paths I'm looking at? Okay. The initial path is I am looking for a rejection to the upside. Okay. If I was going to short, I am going to be waiting for quite a bit. I need price to break out of this daily order block for a trade. Okay. Here's my short area. Here's my long area. Guess which path it took? To the upside. Okay, let's take a look at this trade on a lower time frame. Lower time frame, let's just use 15. You can use 5 minutes, you know, no right or wrong answer, just depending on your appetite. All right, 15 minutes. Okay.
God, they're buying this back up, man. They take taking out these lows and then buy it right back up.
What are you looking at? ES?
On the NASDAQ and the ES.
All
All of
right.
them, honestly, together.
All right, here's nat gas. The green is the daily order block, right? Take a look at this. What did I say? We're only looking for longs. Okay. So it does not matter what strategy you use. If you use signals and overlays, market structure, change in market structure, break of structure, higher highs, lower highs, don't care what you use, but trade it in the direction off the rejection of a higher time frame order block. All right. So I am on the right side of the trade right here. Okay. So that's nat gas. Let's head over to your chart and see what this is pumping here.
I mean, it's just, it looked good for a second to flip on the Neo, but that's the best part about the Neo. It's not going to change unless it's like actually showing that volume. He almost had a change on the ES. The YM. Did I get an alert for that? I should have. Do I even have an alert for the YM? Hold on, let me double check. I don't think I have the alert set up for the YM. Yeah, I want the MNQ and the ES and the CL. Yeah, I have to get YM set up too because I think I just the other day after I set the alert started looking at the Dow as well. Actually, did I get an alert this morning on it? I don't think so. No, I didn't. I did not. So YM did change on that Neo cloud. So that's step one. Hola, back testing track guitar or backing track guitar. Back testing. What am I saying? But again, like the Neo is stepping down on the on the NQ, but it hasn't fully came to the point where we're not negating the longs just yet. We obviously price is gonna have to move quite a bit. But even CL, like I like crude. Crude somehow got some volume here a minute ago. So this could indicate a potential trade setup if it does want to come back. Oh, this is the thing on crude this morning. Sorry, I should just go over this. That I was like really debating on taking a short on. Pre-market obviously had came off this high. Neo flipped, broke out here. I'm so mad I wasn't around for this. 9:30 candle closed down. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. 9:30 candle closed under this after a recent Neo flip. I was like, okay, that might be worth the risk, but I was like, it is early. But again, this here back to that target low would have been $200 scalp on one lot there. We'll get alerted for that. But again, I was waiting for it to break back to the upside one more time. Did here. Never really closed under. Didn't close under. Didn't close under. Guess where it closes under? Boom. Right here. This short off of here. Neo stop. Like, my goodness. One lot would have been $1,600 to the low there, which is insane.
That'd have been a nice chicken dinner.
More than that, actually. It would have been $1,700 on that move. Yeah. So, But again, had an aggressive move. Let's see if that Neo flips, and then, we might have an upside trade. Right now, the Dow, Neo flipped on the Dow. That could indicate everything that we might be heading lower, right? Broke the low. What do we need to see, though? Right? We need to see this retrace, break the Neo, and then head back down, and then close below the Neo. So I need the Neo cloud to get broken to the upside. You'll see here, though, if it's a proper... That's why the Neo is so awesome, honestly. I like watching it the past few days. It literally only allows trades if you're trading it like this in a trending market. It's the only time a trade setup happens is when it's going to trend. So far, obviously, we haven't done it long enough, but when something flips, like when it flips here, like today, it flipped, right? When you get that full retracement, you're seeing how much price resets to indicate that, trend continuation. So it's like, it's so long as that box is big enough, it's in a really strong like trend, or you're in a trending state. If this box is so skinny like this, then you're not in that trending state as much. So when it does flip, if it expands, like on CL here, flip this morning, it expanded. Look what happened. It rejected the highs there, and then bam, had a huge down leg move. Way before we even could have, we could have entered at any point it broke out of this. But like, just incredible. So it's just one of those things where it's like, it definitely is helping really understand when it's trending in a certain direction, rather than having to worry about that chop. So hopefully, we got about 40 minutes here. There could be a setup. I'm going to say that there probably isn't going to be, but there could be. There's always a potential. YM might have a setup for an entry, so long as it, expands here and honestly closes lower.
Just short all 6 of these. Let's go.
Right now. Boom. Even though gold and CL are going to be doing complete opposite moves. But, this is why you wait. Waiting game. That's how they say it. Boom. NeoCloud bearish on the ES. You heard the alert. It went off. NeoCloud bearish on the ES. I love it. So, ES now. Guess what? This is the other thing of why the Neo is so great. Guarantee you, if this is going to trend properly, and that NeoCloud doesn't, if, obviously this is another 3-minute candle now. If this gets bullish, closes somewhere up here, Neo's going to flip back to bullish, right? But if this trends properly, then what'll happen is that Neo close is going to be somewhere around this previous lower low, okay? So what we might see here in a second, it's going to be a short somewhere around where that lower low was. So now we wait, obviously. We have 17 days left of oil reserves. I haven't fully looked, but I think you're... What time... Oh, I didn't even look back at these questions. What time frame is best for a 2-week swing trade? I mean, you probably want to look at a weekly chart. I'm not going to lie. Weekly chart is probably where you're going to look. You got to fill your tank up today?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get the NQ as well is about to flip on the Neo. So we're starting to see, notice here on the YM, see how the Neo is starting to come down. This is a good start to this.
There we go.
I would love to see this. Well, look where it's going to line up though. It's going to line up right here. Right? Previous low. This is why I'm realizing how good it is.
Take it.
Look what happened here. Exited. This is the trade I took earlier off this, right? Where did the bottom of the NeoCloud line up? Off the previous high. If we're in a trending state, price is going to bounce off a previous high, and then it's going to go retest the current high that it just set. Price bounces. Price close above the Neo on an uptrend. With an uptrend Neo, boom, breaks out of that high, or at least retests it. The reason we target the previous high is because we have a higher probability of a trade retesting the high than breaking the high. So we always take our profit at that high, no matter what, because you don't need to have that breakout trade if you want to be like super consistent if it works. So we were sticking to what works. So wow, yeah, YM, all these dumping now, incredible. This is exactly what we want to see. We have 15 seconds left on the 3-minute. We don't take an entry, right? We're waiting. We got to wait for that setup. But this is the first step to the setup. First step to the Neo setup. And again, this is one of millions of strategies people have come up with. Boom. MNQ now bearish Neo Cloud. Boom. Got an alert. I go jump on my computer and look. So, YM, though, is way ahead of all these. We're starting to see where that Neo Cloud might be forming, the high of it. And guess where it is? The high is starting to show that it's right here at that previous support, which is exactly where we want it to line up. Oh, there we go. Boom. Support now could be resistance. So we need to see it first. Go retest that.
Watch the dollar.
Let's see. Hopefully we get some. Okay, so now you'll see here you're getting that. You're getting the ES now starting to show you what the high of the Neo Cloud is going to be. And it's right now where that high is up here. All right. So, I think it's going to go lower before this. This is going to probably step down so long as this candle closes red. It'll step down again. But for now, we like the Dow the most out of all these. So we wait on the Dow Jones. Dow Jones. We shall wait.
Dollar's breaking up hard.
We got, we're almost into power. So this is the other thing. It is after 3, right? So end of the day, every single day, you have algos that are readjusting their position. So that's another indication why I technically don't like trading end of day, because those algos could easily buy it back up in 2 seconds, or they could sell it off. Now, obviously, it can go in our direction, but we don't know what they're going to do. We have no idea. So they're trading on their own clock. So this is why end of day, it is a little risky to even take trades in a day. But it could be cool to see a setup this evening, or this afternoon. But again, that's why that's why the first few hours we love looking for setups, because they're way better setups. But we'll see if we can get something to work with, and we can test it. That's what we're doing. We're testing it now. We got game 7 tonight. Both games actually. Game 7 for the Astros and game 7 for the Phillies as well. Wait, no. Phillies might be game 6. Let me double check. Anybody Diamondbacks or Phillies fan?
Yankees.
Yankees. Of course you are. But yeah, they have game 6 for the Phillies, game 7 for the Astros tonight. So that the Astros obviously is going to be way bigger game.
Dollar's pushing up. Dollar's pushing up.
We have the Phillies game at 4 today. I forgot about that. Or sorry, 5 Eastern. So that's going to come up right after market close, which is kind of fun.
I'm rooting for you here.
It'll be. It's a problem is we have an algo at 3:30, and then we have an algo at 3:45, and then we have an algo at 3:50. So it's like yeah. we'll take a practice.
Needs to push higher. The dollar needs to push higher.
If a trade occurs, we'll do it. We'll take a practice trade. But again, guys, this is something that's way easier to trade between 9:30 market open up until 1 or 2 p.m. Yeah, Caleb, we got Verizon earnings though, so it's not really, that doesn't really matter. The price action today is not going to really matter. Let me see here. How is it trading though? It's kind of just following. Should we take an earnings YOLO? What do we cut after hours today? Or is it pre-market tomorrow? After close, we have Logitech. Actually, we might as well go look at let's go look at the volume on options. Closing, what we got? 27th this week. Oh, they don't even have, so they just have monthlies on Logitech. Makes sense. Again, though, any spike here in volume on either side, not really. On Logitech, but pre-market here, YM's leading the pack here. We don't have a full setup yet, but we're keeping an eye on it. Pre-market, once again, let's look again. We have Coca-Cola and Verizon and 3M and Spotify. Might as well look at those too. Let's look at Verizon first, since we just talked about it. Their options. Let's see. A lot of volume on calls, actually. Right here, 32 calls. Price on Verizon sitting at 31.35 there. 32 calls. A lot of volume. Open interest 6,000. That's a good sign there. It's down 11% today though. Spread is nice. It's only a cent spread, which is good. That's what you really want to see. Your team bear. Yeah, let's look at the volume here though. You got a lot of open interest though on well, you got 10K on this side. We were looking at it earlier. Last time earnings on this gap down big time on this report. But you can see the past 4 quarters did hit. If we look at, let's look again here. I'm going to take off this for now. Let's look at the last September right here. This is actually the one before. It's the 20th, or 2020. 2020 here on earnings day. Gap down a tiny bit. Let's go to 21. Here you go. This one gapped up 21. It beat. Did it beat? Revenue missed. 3% on the EPS. Interesting. Must have been a good outlook report. And then obviously last year had a massive gap down. Oh, wait. Where is it? Right down here. Boom. Had that gap down. Verizon doesn't seem to move very much though on earnings, so it's not really worth the trade. Okay. We'll look at the other ones here in a second, but I want to show you. So now what we do is we start setting alerts. So I want an alert here. Handbell, okay. Top of the Neo, which looks like it wants to come down a little bit here. I want to see that break first. So a lot of steps to it, but again, that's what it needs to be. You need to have. Okay, relax. Let's see. Tomorrow we have Spotify as well. Spotify. Let's see here. See any volume movements on Spotify. Spotify is just very. Sorry, I should have moved my mic a little bit. My bad. Open interest is heavy. Looks like on the put side. For they have monthlies as well. Oh no, never mind. They have weeklies. Nice. That's what we want to see. So volume today looks like calls. 160 calls. Where is Spotify sitting? 155. Okay. 160 is about 3%. It's a typical little earnings, little move there. Spotify, wow, they missed bad last quarter. Boom, look at this miss. 145% miss on the EPS. Oh my gosh. That was a huge dump. Closed the day down 14% last time. 8% drop. Doesn't want to recover. This actually could be worth a nice little risk. October last year gap down though. Gap down last year is 5%. But this is projected. Wow. Okay, so this is interesting. On Spotify. Why does it keep crashing? Can I go to Spotify? Is interesting here. I don't want options, but I do want. Does it come up on here? No, I have to pay for that. Hold on. Can I just see earnings estimates? Here you go. So this is interesting. Okay, so here you go. Last quarter. Let's see. It hit report. Here you go. Last quarter. So this is last year actually. We have 20. Here you go. Current quarter. You can see here it missed pretty aggressively. Based on the estimated. Let me make sure that's right. I was looking at it over here. One long. Yeah, minus 6.9, and it hit minus 169. Okay, so a whole point or whole point and a half minus 169, right? So they are projected much higher at negative 0.21, right? And last they were estimated negative 8 cent or 80 cents a share. So at 21 cents a share is what they're projected at. If they actually beat tomorrow, this thing is gonna probably be up 20 to 30%. So like if this gets fully beaten, you're probably looking at, I mean, that's 16% up to 180. But you're probably looking at a pretty massive move if they beat. And I mean, they're way off their highs as well. So this is definitely a high watch earnings for sure. Sorry, let me go back and check our potential trade setup. Nothing crazy yet. But again, Spotify. They could have a huge day. Especially after that massive gap down before. Now, because of this massive gap down though, if they miss, it's going to be another massive gap down. So you have a higher chance because of the previous misses. Let me look at this thing. Miss. 3 quarters in a row it's been missing. So for some reason, you guys know anything and Spotify's going to have a good day tomorrow, a good report, then just let us know now because it might be worth taking a trade before close. But again, it looks like, I mean, they're expensive. These are $600 a contract. Huge volatility though. Their implied volatility is over 100%, which is insane. But heavy on the call side for these guys. Heavy. The 180s though, not too bad. 180s could be a nice little upturn there. But let's see if it earnings season is quite fun to trade, I will say that. But if 180s go in the money, you're looking at $100 into like 800. You're looking at 8x, 10x probably more than that actually. But again,
Ooh, look at ES.
I know it's still dumping. All these are dumping off. Trying to finish the day. There's NQ. Finish the day red. We don't have it set up yet, but notice where that Neo Cloud, this is where it's what we were talking about. That Neo Cloud's lining up to be peaking at that previous low. That's exactly what I want to see. But again, we have around 23 minutes left in the market open, so we probably won't get a setup, especially with the algos. So we'll see. I mean, you never know. We might get something. But overall, man, I'm liking the call here on, what's it called? On Spotify.
Everyone cancel their subscription so we can take a short.
There you go. I mean, it's cancel your subscription.
We miss the earnings because Jacob canceled.
Gosh. I think actually my Spotify subscription just renewed the other day. So they got my money. I do think it's superior to, what's it called? Apple Music. I love Apple everything, but Apple Music isn't as good as Spotify. Fight me. Yeah, man. That could be a fun YOLO for you guys on Spotify if you want to try it. I was saying that it could be kind of fun to do YOLOs on companies like that. 3M, might as well look at it while we're closing out here as well. Let's go to MMM. 3M. First on the options side, let's go to our weeklies this week. Usually you can tell by just that. Looks like people are sitting more on the bull side. Just a little bit, you got more volume being traded on that bull side. But for now, open interest balance, you can look at the bottom. Call is less than put. So more puts on the open interest side. Wait, sorry, volume. My bad. More calls are actually open. Sorry. Barely, though. It's pretty much even. If we look at their earnings estimates, we can see last quarter, looks like they missed. But it looks like they're going to be positive on their earnings, which is good. 3M's a pretty solid company. They're estimated last quarter was 1.6, and then they obviously reported at a beat, which is awesome. Let's see, quarter ending. Sorry, 269 to 1 point. Wait, no. 0623. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, sorry. 1.65. They reported 217. And now this one coming up, they're estimated 2.34. We'll see if that compares to. Sometimes they're different on what's it called, on TradingView versus the other site. 234. They're estimated. Yeah, last time they hit 217. They beat the past 2 quarters. And then now coming into this quarter, they projected to beat, actually. So we'll see. I mean, look at this. They're down big time. Let's see on the monthly here. 1 month. And they're just got completely demolished. So could be a nice little look at this, too. This is awesome. You know, if you pull up those order blocks, we see that. We could also pull up, like, breakers. This would be a breaker block if it actually shows up, but you do have a level here. Look at this resistance coming into play. It's currently inside of that resistance there, that resistance area. So we'll see if it, you know, it has the potential to bounce back, but my favorite right now is going to be Spotify. Spotify has a interesting way of possibly bouncing pretty aggressively, so we'll see. This thing is looking juicy. All right, ES. Look at that lineup. I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about. Look at where the top of the Neo is. If I mark the top of that Neo cloud right there, boom. Oh, wrong way. Wrong one. Look at where that lines up. Lines up right off that lower low. So essentially, we want it to go up, right? We want it to bounce and wick this. Wick that level. And then we want it to close underneath. And our trade would be somewhere around right here. It's like this. Bink. And then we'd target, more than likely, we would just target this. If this was the pivot low, we'd target that pivot low. It's 8 points. It's very big candles. Or we target our next lower high or higher low that we had back this morning. But again, it's 3:43 Eastern, so probably won't form in time. But that's essentially what we look for. So you're seeing it kind of in real time here. Bitcoin, yeah, was rejecting hard. I'm actually going to go ahead and just set an alert here. Actually, let's see. YM was leading today. I'm going to drag
It's
this.
over. It's only 15 more minutes.
I
It's
know.
done.
It is. You are correct. More than likely. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, it's setting up how we wanted it. Beautifully. 4 hour. Let's pull up those order blocks again. Go over our Bitcoin. We had all those order blocks stacked up there. So on the 4 hour, remember we're targeting these upper order blocks after this breakout here, and we got it. So from 27 to 30, 31, 5 nearly had a beautiful trade. Yeah, we can look back over that one for sure. But yeah, this is just a key level to be watching for sure. I wouldn't long or short here until we get a confirmation that this level is valid. So we need to wait for that on Bitcoin. Where was the what a move that it had there. Okay, let's look over. He said the pound versus the Australian dollar, right? GBP AUD. Oh, wrong one. GBP AUD. You can add these blocks. That is the Lux Algo price action concepts indicator. You can get 30 days risk free right now. Just visit the link in the bio and just click the big green button on the front page. But they are, this is exactly what we trade every day. We trade these order blocks. We had on Bitcoin a bounce on the daily. It was the daily. Let me double check. 4 hour order block on Bitcoin. This is 4 hours there, yeah. Let me get the dailies up. Here we go. Sorry. There you go. This is exactly what we were looking for in our trade earlier last week, or when it was inside this order block. This is exactly what we were watching. Essentially, bounce off that order block, exit it high or low, change of character, and then we were watching for the breakout of this level here, and it got the breakout and then bounced right off that fair value gap that was also formed inside of the price action concepts indicator, bounced right off of that, and then made this move into 30K. So target from earlier this week, if you go back on the live stream, we were targeting the upper 30 or mid 30s. But it is the price action concepts indicator. The SMC one, yes, there is a free version that's Smart Money Concepts that we have as well, but it doesn't give you the volumetrics in these order blocks, and you can't do the multi-time frame either on those, I don't think. Do you know that, Mickey? Can we do multi-time frame on SMC?
I don't know. I use price action concepts. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they don't allow multi-time frame. Makes sense. So there's multi-time frame on fair value gaps, but not the actual order blocks. So like we do multi-time frame order blocks. So right now, like I can go into a 15-minute, right? And I can see this is a 4-hour order block up here. I can see that this was a daily order block. I'm seeing 15-minute candles inside a daily order block. I'm not going to take a trade inside that daily order block till we break it. So we broke it here, bounced off that FEG, had this beautiful rally. But I'm seeing all those higher time frame order blocks on a 15-minute chart, on a daily chart, on a 4-hour chart, whatever time frame I want to see it on, as well as the volumetrics too, which was super helpful knowing what levels are better. So we have multiple stacked on top of each other to know what levels are better. So the gold ones are 4-hour, purple's daily, white is 1 hour, If you get them all on top of each other, we know that could be a more significant level to be trading. So nice little setup there for a beautiful upside move that we had in between these order blocks. But going back to this, sorry, who was asking? None wanted to see this pair, the pound versus the Australian dollar, because it is currently breaking out. So what's nice is you do, if you are in a long trade, have a nice upside to it right now. Let's go to the daily. Daily still in a bullish. So in my strategy on that 3-minute, we like to see if we want to try a continuation. We like to see the neocloud get broken to the downside and then break back out of it, right? So it's trying to break back out of it right now, which is a good sign. Let's actually go to the 4-hour. So it currently breaking out of it. Great sign on a 4-hour. If we go back to, let's take off. Let's just have 4-hour order blocks for now with the Neo. So we're breaking out of this. That's probably a breaker block now. Let's put on that breaker. Let's see. Gold is the 4-hour ones right now. You can set it to the chart. We're on the 4-hour. Gold is 4-hour right now. But in this case, what I would want to look for if you're in this trade. Oh, what happened there? Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Take off breaker blocks for now. If you're in this trade, then you're definitely going to want to hold. You can also see if we turn on, we can see premium discount zones. We're probably at an equilibrium or approaching. An equilibrium. We're still in a massive discount, so this is entitling a nice move to the upside. When you have all the MTF order blocks on it, do you hide the overlaps? You can. You just click this, hide overlap. You can hide the overlaps. But like we do like to see all the order blocks too. So it really depends on what you want to do. You can have them off, you can have them on, it's up to you. But what I do when I have all of them up, if there's a daily and a 4-hour together, I want to see both of those. I want to see that there's a daily order block and a 4-hour order block within each other. I don't want to hide those overlaps because then I know that the 4-hour and the daily are lining up to be a significant level. But for now on this pair, great setup so far in the discount zone for a continuation. In this case right now, you do have a few levels that we could, mark as breakers. So like what we could do is we can go in here and then set, let me do this guy, breaker. We can click show breakers. You're going to see a breaker block form right here, which came from this one as well. So you have multiple breakers. But my first target would be this breaker block that's sitting at that equilibrium, right? So that breaker block that broke earlier, look at this. This is even better. I'm going to take off signals and overlays for now. But if I put on my fair value gaps, you can see right below this order block here, massive fair value gap that it's trying to fill right now. So you have that imbalance. Imbalances love to fill themselves. So seeing that imbalance there, especially on this massive downtrend on a 4-hour time frame, sitting in a discount zone, you have a breaker block up here. You could easily target at least a 50% level, which is 193583 on that fair value gap. Otherwise, I would target the bottom of this breaker block. But I mean, everything's just pointing for this thing to go higher, which is good. And I changed the wrong one anyway. But yeah, so nice little setup there so far. For this to continue. If you want to look for a trade entry, what you're probably going to want to see now is here in a little bit, wait for that swing high. Once you have that swing high, let's just say it's like here, we can, draw a fib and wait for, hopefully it lines up with this area right here. We want it to line up with this previous high, and because it lower high rejected here, broke over it, broke below it, broke back over it, found resistance again. That would be a setup that I would want somewhere above this. So even like in that range here, right around 19. What does that say there? Yeah, 1925 would be great for an entry for a long. Awesome. Yeah, none. You're in a great trade right now, especially if you took it off like this order block down here, this support. Beautiful setup. You're just in a discount, aggressive discount. So again, yeah, 194, 195 would be good targets. Hopefully, let's see. I'm gonna take a. Well, I'm not gonna do that for now. Let's go back though. We are currently rejecting. We never broke fully out though. I don't have an alert set up here. Let's bring up YM again. Nothing really. Yeah, it's just, yeah, we have literally 7 minutes now until close. So.
Shut it down.
We will have a potential trade setup tomorrow. Let's go to 3 minute. We usually have 1 or 2 a day. A lot of times they occur pretty early. But overall, not too shabby of a day.
I think that's it, huh? The pump's over.
Yeah, we'll wait for close. I'm just going to pull up a recap real fast.
British pound Aussie gunning for that order block.
Mm-hmm. All right. For those of you that are new here as well, we are backtesting a strategy using the NeoCloud. I personally like to challenge it. I like to take that strategy and put it up against a funded challenge and see if it can pass it. We're on day 3 of this funded challenge and we're halfway to funded. So far it's doing really good. 3 profitable days in a row. And today 475. I probably gonna take another trade on it, but like we were about to do the stream and there was no setup. So we waited for those setups. We had 2 trades today, both winning around 250 average. Closing the day with 466. We're at 51,500 right now. Hopefully we can get to that funded state. Just trading the strategy. If we go to the reports,
look at your drawdown. It's like nothing.
Yeah, it's been very low. Here you go. This is the overall this month so far. We've taken 12 trades. And made 15.95 15.33 after fees. We've been 83% profitable on this, which is super solid. Drawdown was our biggest loser was 312. Which is pretty good for what we've seen so far. So hopefully this can continue. We got literally 3 more days and we will be past. How is it doing against your drawdown limit for the challenge? Drawdown limit on the challenge is 2K. So the biggest drawdown we've had was 300. We were 300 that day. Actually, no. Wait, where is the drawdown on here? That was the biggest loser. I don't think max drawdown. Yeah, it was 322. Never mind. Max drawdown on the losing side. Let's just go to all trades. Why is it giving you the down draw on all trades? Maybe the PL distribution. I don't know. Anyway, because that day, I think, because you can see here, we had 2 profitable trades before that, ranging around $300. So the drawdown wasn't even much. It was like $12. Again, Brad, the strategy isn't going to be posted until it passes the test. I really like, especially with new things like this, it's not worth posting unless it passes. I went over it. If you've been watching the stream, I've gone over it like 5 times already. We were waiting for that setup. So 3 days. In 3 days, if it's passed, then we'll definitely be posting it. But again, it's like, why? I don't want to give you a strategy that's 3 days profitable, and then who knows, like the next 100 days could be negative. So it's like, it's more fun testing it this way and giving you something that's worth. No, it's the same one we've been talking about. So, I mean, that's a good sign there, right? 83% profitable, pretty solid. Biggest thing, though, is like the stop losses and stuff isn't set in stone. So, like, you do have to adjust them. You have to be able to watch the trades. But overall, it plays pretty well. I'm going to, you know, after going 4 days, I'm going to go back and look at the reports and stuff. Or, sorry, after going the full 6 days, I'll look back at the reports and stuff if it does pass and make sure that it gets written out properly. And then we'll share with everybody. But at some point here soon, too, if I have time in the morning, we will stream live and do some trades together with that strategy. So especially if tomorrow's a winning day, too. But I do take care of my 19-month-old in the mornings. So I just trade on my laptop while I'm chasing her around. And then I hop on stream with you guys. But great day. So hope you guys will join the Discord. Me and Mickey always in there. We might as well just do our closing statements, Mickey, right?
Yeah, everything is all good. It's just a start of the day for me.
Right. Oh, yeah. You're not wrong there. Mickey's always there to answer your questions in the Discord, so make sure to join the link of the Discord, regardless if you're paid or a free member. We're always there to help you guys out. Earnings. Let's just go over this spiel one more time. The good old spiel. Wait, hold on. For my, I had to link my browser up here again. Sorry, guys. I didn't do it before. Boom. Tomorrow, I know you can't see most of this, but there we go. Boom. The important ones are usually the top 3 anyway. Tomorrow, before open, Coca-Cola, Verizon, and GE. And 3M. Can't see 3M's down here. And Spotify. So, those are the majors. Tomorrow, after close, Microsoft, Alphabet, and Snapchat, and then Visa after close tomorrow. We'll worry about the other ones the next days. But let me see here. Besides that, we have overview on how the day closed. Dow Jones closed negative. Not very much, though. Only 82 points. SP 500 closed positive 10 points. Kind of gave back all the profits we had on that run today. NASDAQ up as well. Looks like NASDAQ's the winner today, up 77 points. SP pretty much just break even, honestly. Earnings we do like tomorrow the most is Spotify. Anything you want to leave us on, Mickey, as well?
No, everything is good. I just want to remind everyone, hey, it's just the beginning of the week. You know, if you missed a trade, no big deal. We have 4 more days. Patience, focus. There is no rush to get into any trade. All right. There's no FOMO just because that member just because that member posted a winning trade does not give you permission to blindly enter one, right? The markets will always be here after we are long and gone, okay? Yes. So that's all I have. I mean, that's the most important thing, patience.
Yep, patience. Word of the day. But real quick, since guys, you're still here, obviously we went over a lot of indicators today, but if you do want to try out the indicators that we had today with the order blocks and all of that, you can for 30 days risk-free. Just go to luxalgo.com, click that 30 days risk-free button. You'll get that 30 days risk-free. And again, if you want to learn more about these indicators absolutely free, just hit that resources and the guides button. We have full documentation on every feature that we showed you today, as well as how to use them. If you have questions on how to use them, they can be answered here, but you can also reach out to me and Mickey in the Discord. The Discord link is also on this page. So if it's not in the description, which I think it is, you can just click Discord up here and join that. There's a free section that we answer questions in, as well as when you do sign up, even with the 30 days risk free, you get access to the VIP Discord where we're trading and placing trades like ones that we almost placed today live, but there just wasn't a setup. But yeah, make sure you do that. And then last but not least, make sure to go to the library as well and you check out all of our free indicators, a bunch of different platforms that we host these free indicators on. We also have different categories that you can choose from based on what you want to use, like machine learning, some newer style indicators we have for you. Like Supertrend AI is super popular right now, and paired with the Supertrend clustering oscillator too. So yeah, I think it's a good place to leave it. What do you think, Mickey?
Yeah, everything's all good. We'll do it again tomorrow in the
Awesome.
Discord room. Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, we really appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully we can be back tomorrow. If not, we're going to be back Wednesday. It'll probably be a little bit later. I think that's what you said, Mickey, right? A little bit later tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, no big deal. If not, a little bit later into close, maybe we'll just go over some like late day and watch some earnings play out on Wednesday, but possibly be back tomorrow though. So stay tuned for that. We will update you in the Discord as well as Instagram, and yeah, cool.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys. See you then, and stay safe out there. Remember, keep an eye on your news in the morning. Always watch the news. Make sure you know what's going on before you exit any trades. All right, guys. See ya.
Later.